All right, so a lot of people have been asking about a tier list for this game and how we would rank different characters. So, especially since a lot of people are new, we're gonna just make a season 0 tier list. So I've used all the new characters a decent amount at this point. I've played with a lot of people who have used some of the other characters that I may not be the most mega familiar with, but I have played a ton of the closed network tests, both the first and second one. I actually unironically have like, I don't know, like 150 to 200 hours on this game. I'm kind of addicted and a loser, but it's fine because I'm also joined by a couple of other people here. We have Herb, and then your boy Mike.
Hello.
So say hey,
Hello.
guys.
Yo.
And I know specifically or Alyssa is actually also a League player, so they are very familiar with MOBAs and what is good, what is bad there. So I myself, this is my first MOBA, but I played a lot of Gekishin and I know what is really good and what is bad in a lot of situations. So again, I think with 4 people here, we can kind of get a good grasp of what generally would be the best and quote unquote worst characters. And I would say, based on how I have my tier list set, none of the characters in this game are really bad per se, is kind of what I would say. I think a lot of them can look good in situations. So keep in mind when it comes to tier list, you may see someone have like, A, B, C, D tier, C tier, something like that. But the characters even ranked on the bottom of those tier lists are still able to shine in certain situations, which is why I'm gonna say something like a niche in role or decent in a role here. And we're just kind of go through this list as it is based right here in the tier list. This is just randomized, right? Not a specific order. And we'll just be talking about it. So I hope you guys do enjoy. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section below and I'll go ahead and answer as quick as I can. But let's just start things off. Super Saiyan Goku is the first character on the list here, and this guy, he's goated. I mean, I know Mike here is really good with Super Saiyan Goku as well, but just to
Yeah.
kind of get a general explanation of this guy, he can transform into Super Saiyan. Transformations are really good in this game because they're able to make you invincible for a certain period of time. They could restore your HP. Just overall, it's a nice little boost to damage, right? I feel like having that transformation could be useful in many situations, especially in the middle of fighting. Goku overall has some pretty good skills. Again, I don't really think we need to cover him too much, especially if you've seen some other tier lists. I'll let Mike go ahead and take over because I know Mike is much more customized to Super Saiyan Goku than I am, though he's a very easy character to kind of get, right?
Right. I think the main thing that makes him just so good is just how he can fit just any sort of situation. If you're getting low HP and you're about to die, you can use your Meteor Hammer and your Kaioken to get out of a situation or use it to get into a battle faster, right? There's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, we have the Dragon Shell open and maybe all of our team died, so I'm gonna try to like backline. You have 2 Kaiokens to use late game. You could use that to immediately just like kind of zoom by like half the battlefield in that, and then if there's anyone who like targets you, use the Meteor Hammer to jump over them. It's just so much stuff that pairs well together. The Spirit Bomb is also really good at just confirming KOs and just also just a really strong ability later on because you just can't run away from it, with just how much damage it does and how big the AoE is as well.
And especially
all of the just stuff meshes well together.
I feel like a lot of characters have movement speed down abilities, especially like technical or tank characters, so they're able to really help Goku confirm the kills if you do have an ally. And let's not forget about the Kamehameha, man. This also does movement speed down when you use Kaioken on top of it, and the range that it covers is just gigantic. Like, you can't go wrong with any of these skills. I would personally say Meteor Hammer is probably the one you want to focus on first. Kaioken is extremely useful, but realistically, it's really just used to burst these up. So probably it would be the one you have to focus on, like, as your third priority, but it's still just like overall, like, you look at Goku and there's nothing really that you can point out as like, oh, I kind of wish this was better or this was better. I think he's just like he fits what you want to do in this game overall very, very well. Like there's nothing that I think he struggles in. I think he's overall just really good. And even, like in terms of like speed, with Kaioken, because of that, he could have movement speed on par just better than technical characters who are usually the faster ones in the game. So I don't know if there's anything else anyone else wants to kind of bring up about this guy.
I'd say that Goku definitely has, I'd say probably the best clear in the game. He just completely demolishes any camp you can think of. Like Meteor Hammer practically one-shots Cell Juniors, and the Frieza soldiers that are in top lane also die to like a single Meteor Hammer and like a level 3 Meteor Hammer and then like 1 or 2 rush attacks. So Goku just has like insane clear speed, ton of damage in 1v1 for the Kamehameha Kaioken. And yeah, I mean, I've played my last 10 games have all been Goku games. I've lost to one of them and I've gotten 7 MVPs. That was playing with like people that I consider good at the game. Like I was playing with like Herb here. Yeah. And I was just like doing incredibly well. In fact, in one of those games, Herb has it recorded from their perspective. I got a quadra kill. Like by myself, I killed the entire enemy team. I wiped them by myself, just with like a Kamehameha, Meteor Hammer, Spirit Bomb combo.
Yeah, just so much.
I seriously think Goku himself has like the highest damage output, while also like there's like nothing being complex about him. So easy to use, just so easy damage. That Kaioken Kamehameha is so clutch when you you hit that at the right time. It is insanely powerful. I think he's definitely, if not the best in the role, definitely one of.
I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, I think it's very funny that, as kind of just being Super Saiyan Goku, like, I feel like usually you wouldn't really, like, especially with how complex a lot of these characters get, you would assume a lot of them could be better, but I think Goku being so simple is what makes him so good, man. I think, right now, to me personally, he's the best in Raw, and I think everyone here can agree with, like, as in terms of attackers, there's close options. Oh, for sure. And we'll talk about them later. So still, this video is also going to be timestamped, so you're going to see us talking about each character rather than, oh, this is best, this is that, because we're not really going in order. Goku, just everything you want in an attacker. He is just so good, and especially again, he has a failsafe as well, like multiple failsafes with Kaioken running away. Meteor Hammer can help you get away. Super Saiyan transformation, like. Yep. He's just overall good defensively and offensively, and even, with the little stagger here in the Meteor Hammer, with the movement speed down, like he's able to hold enemies down. Like he's just doing so much. It's really, really crazy. This guy is incredible. Really, really good character that really... I think it's nice that as a starter character, he is as good as he is. It helps a lot of people really get into the game easily. So that's pretty huge, but... Next, we'll talk about Piccolo here. Piccolo is the next guy on this list specifically. Now, I think Piccolo is kind of a character in this game. Well, it's funny because they're playing his trailer here. So I might actually mute this section here in terms of the audio just because we don't want the trailer to keep playing in the background. Piccolo is a character where I think he has some strengths to him. One big thing about Piccolo is that this special meme canon, in the original network test, this was really huge for confirming kills against the Great Ape mechanic. So far, the Great Ape mechanic hasn't returned, and I honestly don't think it's going to return at this point. I feel like with how they're designing the game now, it just doesn't really feel like they're considering the return of the Great Ape. What do y'all think? I mean, I just don't think that's going to happen, right?
It might happen in the future as like in maybe like a testing area, but I don't think they're gonna throw it in anytime soon to the point where it'll be used in that way again, And
one good thing about Piccolo is that as he does shorten his cooldown right here, I just feel like a lot of his skills aren't really super useful. Unfortunately for this Piccolo, right, we see his demon whip here. This just kind of brings you towards the wall or skull. I feel like some of this could be very janky, and while the extra damage here is nice, I feel like it kind of isn't the best for escaping. you can use this to your advantage in certain situations, but the fact that you have to connect to a hero, enemy, or wall, I don't know, rather than just being able to escape, can limit your options in certain situations here. The Hell Zone trap could be nice, but I think, at least I found it to be pretty easily avoidable for the most part. Light Grenade, they actually nerfed this move. This was his best move in my opinion, and then they nerfed it. They made it the range farther, but then they decreased the damage it does for no reason. I don't know. I think Piccolo is actually not really that great overall. Not much really for me to say on top of that, and especially because the special beam cannon, again, if you land it, it can do a lot of damage, especially, you know, a lot of characters, like we said, like with Super Saiyan Goku, like a lot of characters can hold down enemies or stagger enemies and allow you to hit this, but it causes a lot of setup, especially for, like, you have all the setup with Piccolo that you need to do, but with Super Saiyan Goku, you could just throw his all out and then you're just like, oh yeah, you cover like the entire field. You know, Goku's Kamehameha is arguably just better than this ultimate attack. It just really unfortunate. I'd say arguably, but it is just better, right?
Yeah, I just don't like how Piccolo is after the reworks about him. I think something needs to change for him to just be not I don't think he's like unusable, because like how you were saying, not there is no unusable character, but I think something needs to change for him to be like a viable option, I guess, or like an option that you would want to play off the top of your head, you know.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with him is basically just like his design. I played a lot of Piccolo in the betas, and then a little bit just solo queuing with Piccolo, and hit that Demon Whip, you almost never get value out of it. Cooler is a character that also has like a grab with heroes, but the thing is that he has other skills that just lead into that. He can lower speed, and he has a really nice beam, but Piccolo wants to kind of keep his distance with his rush attack and his light grenade and his Hell Zone trap. It's not really working with the other skills, and I think that drags him down a lot, along with his other skills just not carrying him as they used to.
Exactly. I think that, you know, Piccolo, in my opinion, was clearly a character designed to help take down God of Destructions and Great Apes. I think that was his thing. But then they changed how you take down God of Destructions with Gekishin Burst, and then they removed the Great Ape, whilst Piccolo himself didn't really change.
Remained the exact same.
Yes, and in fact, he's even arguably worse. So, I mean, there are situations you could definitely take advantage of Piccolo. I would have brought him in Nishin role. Again, he has, obviously, I think, you know, Tax, if you guys know Tax, the Piccolo player, that guy's cracked with Piccolo. Like, I think with any character, you can make them look really good, but when we're comparing them objectively, there's a 9-day difference. And, you know, like with Goku, we talked about how much synergy he can have with all of his different moves. Piccolo, like, you know, Herb said, there's not really that synergy there, so it's very unfortunate for this guy. I think there's, again, hopefully this guy honestly might arguably just need like a rework in his skills, or just like a lot changes here for this guy to be more viable, but we'll see. I think, you know, more range, more connectability somehow. Like if this meteor, like this Hell Zone trap, like it provides movement speed down, I don't know, like this could be potentially good. Like the concept of it is nice. I just think maybe we need something more to it to kind of, like, I feel like it's so slow and so easily, like, you should be able to have the option of re-inputting the, oh, you know, you can actually, sorry, I'm stupid as hell. You can, like, kind of just bring it down instantly to trap people. It's just, again, so slow, and then sometimes you just might not be able to do that depending on, you know, what's going on. So,
I almost feel like that move specifically should have like a defense down, so like, you know, traditional trap, you set it up, hit it immediately, and then you like a Hell Zone grenade into it. That would be like an incredible 1-2 combo. If they just had like that defense down, I feel like that really help him right there. Just
like some sort of
he's not putting out anywhere near the damage that Goku is, nor is he like participating as much as Goku is. It's just, he does not have enough right now.
Like if there is something besides movement speed down, like even like a stagger or something here, if you like hit someone with it, I think that'll just allow you to open up with like even a light grenade, if not like a special beam cannon, right? So anyways, Piccolo, definitely could look better in a lot of aspects, but at least overall niche, he's not like an LOL character. Honestly, I don't think most characters are an LOL character, if any. I just have the role there just cause. So next we have First Form Frieza. So First Form Frieza is a character I actually did use quite a bit in the last tests right here. So even though I don't have him unlocked here, I did use him a decent amount overall in the last number test. So I can kind of just take over here. When it comes to Frieza, I think the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is truly how fast this guy is. This guy is able to zoom across the map so efficiently because he has not only movement speed up here, but then he also has the Imperial Decree, which increases movement speed up even beyond that. This character is so good at God of Destructions. And I think one thing is, even though this character, I feel like is lacking a lot of areas that we'll talk about, one thing that he's so good in is confirming God of Destruction KOs. And I think that with that in mind, he's able to kind of hold on the fort and get you like, if you play this guy right, he can secure you the victory, because a lot of people are very worried about, you know, fighting the kind of enemy, you know, heroes and things like that, which obviously is a very important thing. Those matches could determine whether or not, especially early game, you get ahead in levels, and even like a 1 or 2 level difference means a world in this game. It's just sometimes people, I think, in this game get too focused on the actual fighting than the objective, which is killing the God of Destruction. So depending on the match, Frieza is able to kind of sneak around, since he's able to move so fast in. Let's say all 4 enemies are kind of trying to get Jacko, or something like that, and then you're Frieza, you just move across the map in 2 seconds, then you just snipe one of the God of Destructions before they could even do anything. Stuff like that is what I've done with Frieza quite a bit. I just think, you know, overall, Zarbon and the Doria are a little too weak. And if anything, they got a stealth nerf because the God of Destructions, when they attack, no longer focus on Zarbon and the Doria like that. So let's say, for example, I don't know, like you're trying to, how do I explain it? Just take down a God of Destruction or something like that, and it could lead to potential issues with the kind of these two, especially depending on where you set them. It will just be more beneficial for them to happen the target, in my opinion. Now, Zarbon and the Doria as well, when they get knocked out, you have to wait like what, 30 counts for them to kind of be reactivated. I feel like that's such a long timer for them, especially because, you know, Zarbon himself, he doesn't really do anything too crazy. Like these blasts, I think when everything's going on, like it's just an extra thing that you have to kind of watch out for, especially when there's extra characters around. And with the movement speed down is really cool. I just think he's not really doing enough. The Doria could be very annoying though, for sure, especially with this little push. I think the Doria is more annoying than people would give credit for. A good Frieza player will be able to take advantage of the Doria, and it's really nice that you're able to set these guys wherever you want on the map and kind of have them do what they are able to do. It's just Frieza's more so, again, especially with his low HP, even though he has a lot of mobility and escapability, he's really only good for the God of Destructions, and you have to really early game, this guy could struggle, right? And you have to make sure you get your levels and you get your, you know, confirms against all the mobs around the map before your enemies do. And Frieza's not really good at doing that. So what could very easily happen with Frieza is Frieza just gets knocked out a bunch early game and you just fall behind already. Now, if you have a really good teammate and you guys are so able to take advantage early on, Frieza is able to level up. He could look really nice, but you could say the same with any character. And then his ultimate itself is really slow. It has a really decent range once you fully power it up. I just think like the amount of time it takes to build this up, while it's like, okay, you have a Spirit Bomb from Goku or Cooler Supernova or many other abilities that could just instantly flatten down and kind of just get get rid of these characters. Frieza Supernova, I don't think it really had to have been charged up to like the amount that it takes. I feel like you're able to avoid it a lot easier than like the Spirit Bomb and some of these other really wide moves, and especially because this is a late game ability, having to charge it up at that point is just not ideal and will hurt your chances of being able to secure a lot of kills or victories at the end of the kind of matches. But yeah, I think Frieza could be better, and like I think Zarbon maybe should be faster and just have overall more damage. Then Frieza's rush attacks should allow kind of the cooldowns for Zarbon and Dodoria to kind of lower, kind of like what Piccolo's doing, right, with the skills. I think these two skills should be able to recover by landing rush attacks, and then you're able to call Zarbon and Dodoria a lot more often. I think that is what should be fixed about Frieza, but yeah.
As a Goku main, I gotta say that crush from Dodoria has pushed me back so many times from getting confirmed kills as well.
Yeah, like this
like
skill,
it can be very annoying.
it can be very annoying. It's just still I think Frieza's more like annoying, and if you let him get around the map, he could cause you to lose. But it's more so like he's annoying rather than like
he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
especially when we consider other technicals, they're still able to move around the map pretty decently. Frieza's fun enough. Again, another character that I would say is a niche and role. Again, like Piccolo, if you do things right, you can cook with him. I would arguably say Frieza is better than Piccolo, but again, there's just, I think, overall better options. And if the list needs to change a little bit, we can definitely do that. You know, maybe Frieza will move up a little. I could see myself even putting Frieza in decent, but again, we'll kind of let the list fill out itself, and then we'll take a final look at it after.
Yeah.
Next we have Baby Young Body. So Baby is a character that was really good in the last network test, and they did nerf him a bit in terms of his healing abilities, but I still think that this guy could be very good. So essentially how Baby works is he's able to possess ally heroes, and during that possession, you're essentially able to heal your character and just throw out these ki blasts to enemy heroes. So you're essentially able to give the character you're paired with a second life. At least in the original network test, you basically gave them like a second life, and you're able to just kind of push real good offense against the enemy, which is very funny for a tank tech defense character, right? This was a very nasty ability that can, you know, decide the fate of matches, especially paired with a character like Oob, like almost in Maju, but Oob specifically, it was really good here. Energy Explosion gave a ton of HP, or no, actually it was his ultimate that was able to give a ton of HP in the past. Now they nerfed the amount of HP you gain from it. It's still good, but they definitely nerfed this here. They nerfed the amount of healing you do with this guy. I feel like this was never really too mega crazy, honestly, but I think that movement speed down and being such a high, you know, field can cause a lot of really like good things in terms of confirming kills with other characters. Trigger Blitz Barrage, I don't recall if this was necessarily nerfed, but it was still very good right now. And yeah, again, this guy is able to even, you know, KO a character or if he KOs a character on the enemy hero team, you're able to possess them and then use all their skills, etc. Which late game, if you get this off, man, could be very devastating depending on the character you control. Maybe so overall very good. I mean, I personally haven't used him in the new network test though. I have fought him quite a bit, and I know some of y'all may have. You guys used Baby specifically?
Not used, but fought against a lot of babies, and I don't know that I have won against one yet.
I have won against every baby I faced, although to be fair, one of those matches was kind of insane for me. I was like 5 levels ahead of the enemy team. That's besides the point though. Baby, well, I don't get to play tank a lot because a certain someone in this call really likes playing tank.
Yep.
But but with Baby, comparing him to other characters I've seen in MOBAs, specifically League of Legends, he's very similar to two characters that are in League of Legends. One being Yumi, who is, I'd argue, the most annoying character in League of Legends, and Viego with like the possession of enemies. And I'd say that usually those two archetypes are pretty annoying, but the way it is in Baby right now, I don't see him being that strong compared to those other characters I mentioned, mostly because his damage isn't all that, and he feels like a very early game focused character that then drops off very quickly. Like I feel like his damage isn't great, and I feel like just the tank role overall is so strong that Baby just doesn't really have a place. Like if Baby was something like a technical character, I'd see him being way better than he currently is, or at least looking much better than he currently is, simply because Kentucky just has way too much competition of really strong picks, and he just feels like the weakest one.
Yeah,
for tank right now, it feels like you're kind of losing out on some usability, like with going with Baby, compared to like my character Cooler. I noticed that like between Baby and like Cooler, there's like considerably like there's a lot of situations where Baby could probably be better, but it almost feels like you're kind of at a disadvantage for using Baby because he's just not on the level of the other ones outside of like that really strong early game. But dropping off so hard in the end is just like it's kind of a game changer. I think there's been some Babies at the end game that have like done well, but not compared to a lot of the other tanks that can solo, like Zamasu, for example.
Yeah,
he seems good, and I think him as a technical character would be incredible. But as a tank right now, I don't think he's quite enough to justify picking him over others in the role.
It's just the thing of I think Baby survivability was like such a huge part of that. And this got nerfed. I think they went a little too overboard with how much health this recovers now and how much damage you may be able to do, to the point where like this was kind of huge bases around this character. This finger barrage could be super annoying for sure, but it's not like it does crazy damage. It pushes enemies away, which arguably, depending on working together with allies, could kind of hurt more than help. This is more so of like, I think like a protecting your god of destruction kind of role rather than anything else. Again, like I said, I think compared to a lot of other characters who have abilities with movement speed down, this necessarily isn't as great. Like let's think of Vegeta's, Vegeta's full-time bomber doesn't necessarily provide movement speed down. It kind of just pulls characters in. But this should have been a move that like pulls characters in, I feel like, rather than just apply movement speed down. They also nerfed the HP you get here. It's just overall Baby survivability is a lot lower than it was in the previous network tests. And I do think that early game is super, super important. But since he's also weaker early game now too, it's harder for you to get that advantage compared to before, which I think was what made Baby potentially really good, especially with that second life. And now that they took that away, I think Baby does go down, in my opinion, in terms of roles. Where do you guys think that he should be in? I think decent or good in role would fit, honestly. It's not Baby's bad. I think he could overall still provide quite a bit. I just think like there's this better.
I think decent. Compared to like the other tanks, I would definitely say decent is probably good for him. Definitely better than niche, but I like compared to the others of what I would consider good in role, I don't know that Baby meets that criteria. I think that's very fair. A good spot for him.
Especially because others are just like better late game and better early game. It's like, cool. What's the situation he's for?
I feel like even if I consider him much better than Piccolo or Frieza in their current states, but I feel like based on the definition of what we given the tiers, Baby counts as niche and role just because tank is that strong.
Yeah, but I think that Baby is still like, if you pick Baby, he's still decent in role. Like I think it is. I could see why you would say niche, especially because of how we're defining the roles as well. I think
if we're going by like straight definition, he is the nichest pick. But I don't know that
him being necessarily
decent in role is, I think, is good like explanation for it. It's not to say that like, oh, this is something you can really only use in certain situations. It's like he's still good, and I wouldn't call him niche, but there's just better options.
I
But
think
I would never say that he's like not a good pick.
Niche and Rolls is a character that I feel like has pretty much like just one job. Well, it's like I think Baby can do multiple things still. Like again, he can help you a lot out in the early game. He is able to still provide this movement speed down, which I think is nice. He is able to help push the God of Destruction away. You know, if he does get this off late game, that is the one thing in late game. It's just that he doesn't have the damage to necessarily do it. I still think it's something that can happen, like not a lot, but it can happen. And if you do get this off, that is huge. And that's something that like I feel like Piccolo and Frieza don't have, right? That's why I would still put him in decent personally. I still think that he's like, if you're a good baby, I think, you know, it's easier to be a good baby than it would be like to be a good Piccolo or Frieza, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I
even
mean,
with the nerfs, you know.
I was looking at it from like a different definition of niche. I was more so thinking about it in the sense of like when or like which character has the most usability in the role. Like when am I picking a character? In that sense, I would call Baby niche because like most of the times, in like 99% of situations, another tank is way better at it than Baby. But like Baby still has a place in the game. So I do understand why you guys would have put him in decent over niche. Like I was just using a different
Yeah, I get
understanding
that.
of what niche was.
Honestly, he can teeter on either side. I completely understand both. I think it's really like he's in between the two of them.
It is so crazy.
Definitely niche, good in role, but yeah, I understand. He's definitely like, we're talking like actual. He is definitely niche in the role.
It's so
Just
funny
not
because
niche in the way that Piccolo and Frieza are, in my opinion.
last test, Baby was like arguably best in role. So
He was
he was crazy.
He was quite good. He was
Those
quite good.
nerfs hurt this
I don't
boy
think he stopped
quite
playing.
a bit, man. They definitely did. Next we have Zamasu here. So here's Zamasu, and again we'll just kind of pop in this guy. Man, there's a lot we could really say about Zamasu. He's just, again, I think he's a very easy kind of tank character to pick up, honestly. Like he was the kind of the tank character, I think the best one in the original network test, between him and Vegeta for sure. I think it definitely gave it to Zamasu. Now they definitely, like you could tell from the second network test and even now, like I think his survivability was definitely nerfed from the very first one, but he still has quite a bit to him with that extra regeneration gauge. It is super useful, and essentially you're able to just, you could 2v1 a lot of characters with Zamasu, I feel like, especially like
Yes.
early mid game. Late game, I think it's not as much because at that point, like, so many characters are just so mega built up that Zamasu is not able to really do that 2v1 as much anymore. But I think early mid game is where Zamasu is able to look so good. A lot of his moves have like really good coverage. I think this is probably his worst move. It is able to confirm kills, I think, in certain situations, which is like for a tank character, like sure, like we'll take it. Overall, or and would this be his worst move? Like I think it's really funny because none of them are necessarily bad.
None of them are. I would not say it's his worst move. I'd say it's probably just like the least greatest, because that Divine Rush is still incredibly good, especially like if you have like an attacker that's really needing like a second to run away. Zamasu can still like Divine Rush, take that for a bit, and might even live long enough for the attacker to come back and sweep. He's so survivable that you can just push them away and like just stall enough time, and you will have like the attacker heal and come back. That Divine Rush is so good for helping your partner just not get overwhelmed if you hit it, which is not the worst thing to hit, honestly. It's pretty easy.
This DOT is kind of silly too. It's like, again, nothing crazy, but when you add everything together, I think it could be just really nice. And being able to move with this is super good as well, because once it's really leveled up, like it can cover a really wide range. And this ultimate is arguably like one of the better ultimates, I feel like, with the range it has. And like again, you could see how hard it is for Goku to kind of escape that specifically. This is like for tank characters, I think I do like this ultimate quite a bit. I think it's able to help a lot of situations though. at the same time, you can kind of just vanish out of it. So, like, I think Zamasu is a character you need to actually play and fight against. Like, on paper, you look at him, and I feel like when you are looking at the skills directly, it doesn't look as crazy as when you're actually playing him, right? Especially because there's a lot of, like, that health regeneration going on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Am I
would say
crazy?
another. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Am I crazy, or did his skill 3 used to slow or something? I remember it being like, or at least feeling much better for chasing down enemies with that ability in the first network test, but I don't recall if it actually slowed, or if it just, like, I don't know. I just felt like it was better for chasing.
I think this is the one. I'm pretty sure this was the only one that provided movement speed down, but the original network test was so long ago at this point that I don't like remember these specific details. But still, I think Zamasu has just like so much survivability, and he's just really good at kind of, again, being able to 2v1 in many situations like that could be super useful, because like Herb said, if you need your ally attacker to go heal, they can very safely and comfortably leave, go heal, and come back. Zamasu is still fighting the two characters, and it's like, oh, now you could really get that huge advantage, which I think is something Zamasu is really good at with this skill, and then even this skill. And the ultimate as well. Like, he's able to do like really good and just kind of stalling in a sense, right?
I think it's Zamasu is the most tank of the tanks. I feel like that's what makes him so good. He is like just the tank on the all.
His Zero Immortals as well. I feel like we are talking about how good it can be as well. Especially early games, there's a lot of other units have difficult super attacks to hit, because also like just small range can be. I've used hit just like more of kills and even from a lot of boss early game, and we talk about how powerful early game can be. But yeah, just having it where you're just immune to all damage when you're attacking it's crazy.
This is pretty fun.
Like, what?
That's I don't know why I skimmed over this. I'm like, am I missing something? And I just like completely missed the immune to all. This is a really good ability that not many characters have. I believe Cooler and Zamasu both have that, but I'm not sure if any other character at the top of my head have this immune to all ability during like an ability that they use. This is just a nice one to have, especially for a tank character.
It can be so crazy.
It can be really, really crazy. I mean, Zamasu's just like, again, that's the thing with like Baby. It's like, you know, Baby is like decent in a row, but then we start talking about Zamasu, these other tanks, like they're just able to hold down the fort a lot better. I would argue Zamasu's still great in roll, personally, if not good at bare minimum.
I would definitely say great.
I don't
think he's the best, but he's definitely great.
Zamasu is definitely
great.
Yeah, Zamasu is able to be a very, very dangerous guy, 100%.
Yeah.
Who we got next here? I believe it was Super Oob. So it's funny because this guy was just Maju, but the direct translation from GP is he's actually called Super Oob in like the GP kind of, I guess, version of Dragon Ball, sure. So that's why they kind of are calling him Super Oob specifically. Now, I think this guy was, in the previous network tests, he didn't really receive changes at all. I used him mostly in the previous network test. This guy could do crazy amounts of damage to the Cyclone, and he's able to build up so much Cyclone. Again, here he's able to build up Cyclone. I believe here he's able to build up Cyclone, and then once you use his ultimate, the more Cyclone you have, you just, firstly, you are able to turn people into candy, which is a very nice little ability. We'll talk about Majin Buu. It's kind of one of the good things Majin Buu does. And like the amount of damage this guy could do, especially with this right here, his rest attacks also building up Cyclone. Like, I feel like the amount of extra damage he gains from this is just kind of silly. And especially, when the Cyclone was paired up with Baby in the previous test, it just was a disgusting combo. Baby being hurt probably hurts this guy a little bit though, when you're talking about like, how good is he, I think kind of also determines, like, especially with a lot of characters, how well they work with other characters that are existing in the game. I think Oob kind of, baby being worse by default does hurt this guy a little bit. This right here is just kind of like, it's not really, it's like this is kind of like a worse ability of what 18's rush attack is in a sense. I think it's still like very fast, and it still is able to build up quite a bit of cyclone against multiple enemies here. Right here, no obstruction is pretty decent. Kind of, you're not able to get movement speed down and things like that. I think the Oop has a lot of really good tools to him, but I think the game froze. Let me know what you guys are thinking.
I can't speak on Oob too much because I don't play damage roll, but like in the last beta test, like I feel like he's never really been bad. He's always been a great pick, and every time I've faced like a super Oob, it's never been like, oh this is easy. Like I've fought like Piccolos that I've kind of just like looked down upon. Oob is one of those characters that I feel like you always have to respect. Like he's definitely not like a Super Saiyan Goku, but he's not a Piccolo. He can do some crazy stuff, especially with the right partner. Absolutely, he can definitely look like one of the best like attacking roles in the game.
Yeah, this game crashed, so let me pause and reopen it.
No worries.
Okay, you can go.
All right, so with Oob, I've mostly fought him. I didn't really get the chance to play him during the network test, and I also wasn't really interested in playing with Oob. But I've only ever fought him while using like Kale and more squishy attackers. And Oob is just a menace when it comes to characters that have low health bars like the Gammas or again Kale. Because with Cyclone, if he just builds that up against like mobs, like the NPCs, he can do a lot of damage suddenly, and it's not something that, like, obviously you can see it hovering above him, but it can just be like you're back in lane after backing or like after going to a jungle to claim some NPC XP, something like that, and then once you're back, Oob just does like half of your HP bar and you can't do anything about it because it's just his passive doing his passive. And I just feel like that's the main strength Oob has. He just can whittle you down pretty quickly, and although from what I've seen his farming isn't as great as other attackers, the amount of damage he's doing to heroes, at least, or like the characters, is just too high to ignore.
Yeah, and like I said, the Cyclone, you have so many ways to build it up, and that burst damage you could do, especially, again, if you go ahead and use this right here. I think the Cyclone, like, again, you see the Cyclone activating when you're attacking. It's just so silly because of how fast you're able to build it up. It's just the amount of burst damage you see when you especially just activate this skill 2 here. It's kind of crazy, right? And then he has his ultimate as well, which can, again, just help you quite a bit in terms of like confirming a kill by turning them into candy. I think is really cool. Oob feeds into himself. All of his skills help work with each other, which again I think is what can make an attacker so good, is everything feeding into itself and helping you do more and more damage. Like everything here that he's doing is complementing him pushing more damage, which is perfect for the role of an attacker. Well, I don't think he's as good as Goku. I think Oob is still, again, a great attacker. I would say great in role is what I would give Oob. He's able to really push damage, especially, early mid game. I think, even late game, he's able to do pretty well in. But I think mid game is where Oob can really shine, especially, even against technical characters or the Gammas, like you said, or Kale, right? Like the HP for these characters aren't high enough to keep up with what Oob is doing. I just don't think he has as many like abilities that Super Saiyan Goku has. But like, I could see an argument like Oob up there for sure, right?
Yeah, and this is sort of a small thing, but I feel like we'll talk about something similar with 17 and Kale, where Oob just hard counters Majin Buu. Like, Oob can just remove the candy effect from himself, and that just completely negates what Majin Buu ult is doing. and that is a character interaction that you really have to take into account when like there's not that many technical characters, and the matchup between a Super Oob and a Majin Buu is very possible, especially since Oob wants to like fight against these squishier characters, so it's probably gonna be played more in top lane. But the fact that Oob can just remove candy from himself is like
It is super.
it might
nice.
seem niche, but it is like a good
It
skill
does
to
need to
have.
actually be considered.
Yeah, because again, how many technicals are there in total? Like what, 4, 5 at most? Like
Yeah,
I think I
yeah,
see a
6.
four or
I
something.
see a decent amount of Majin Buu, honestly. And we'll talk about why later. I think Majin Buu is kind of still an easier technical to use, and that's why you probably will see him so often. Removing candy and just no obstruction is just this is a great ability. I think is a little underrated, especially for an attacker, because again, you get, I believe this will go against like movement speed down and things like that, or stagger. And it's like, okay, well, actually, no, I don't care, and I'm gonna keep pushing to kill you, right? I think that's just a really nice thing to kind of see on an attacker like this. So Oop has counterplay against, you know, a lot of these potential debuffs. So all right, we have Krillin here as the next character, and I, for one, I'm a Krillin main. For technicals, Krillin is probably my go-to. 9 out of 10 times I will be using Krillin. I think this guy has just so many useful tools and abilities, and I know that me and Alyssa here do disagree on how good Krillin is right now, so we can kind of get both sides of the spectrum. Now, the big thing about Krillin is this energy mine was nerfed from the last network test. This did a lot more damage than the last network test. This does hurt him, especially when it comes to killing mobs around the map. You're able to basically, in the past, set mines and just like auto kill a lot of characters on the map and just farm XP even when you're not around them, which was, it's very stupid that he was able to do that, and they nerfed his damage to the point where you can't just one-shot them without even being there, which I think is fair. It just does remove a lot of kind of Krillin being able to kind of get a really strong start. Like if you gained priority with Krillin in the past, you're able to very easily keep that priority, keep enemies from farming mobs. I still think this is such a good ability to help keep your God of Destructions alive. And you know, I've set this sometimes around the enemy's God of Destruction so that when enemy heroes go to try and heal, they get hit by this and then they die before they get to heal on their God of Destruction. Like there are some very interesting setups you could do with this energy mine because it becomes invisible, and it also shrinks their field of view and it marks them. So for example, this will be able to trace them. This is definitely not a crazy move. This is definitely Krillin's worst move, but you're able to do a amount of burst damage to marked enemies. So if you get marked them here or use the solar flare and mark them, even this could be okay, right? Being able to blind enemies with such a wide range, even at just like level 1 or 2, I think early game, this could be so huge. Like even I've received this, and it's just like, unless you know exactly how the map is in and out, even then this could just like hurt you quite a bit, and preventing an attack debuff is just a cherry on top of it. If enemies are marked, you shorten skill cooldown too. Overall, man, I mean, this is just so good. The biggest hit in my opinion to this guy was a destructo disc. This used to have a 50-second cooldown. Now I believe it's 70 seconds. They increased it by 20. This guy being able to do his ultimate in 50 seconds was stupid. It was actually just really dumb. So I think it's fair to kind of take that away from him to balance him out. I think with Krillin, even though they did nerf him in especially I think in this area and this area with the ultimate, overall what you are able to achieve with Krillin hasn't changed enough to where I'm like, oh man, this guy suddenly is bad now. I think he's still able to be very potent, and even when farming mobs, even though you're not able to just kind of go across the map and still farm, they're pretty much still like one tap away from killing anyways. So worst case scenario, you're still able to farm kind of the characters on the map and gain a lot of XP and take that ability from doing that away from your enemy heroes. And that is just such a huge thing. I think Krillin is able to, again, a good thing about this guy is he pairs everything together so well. All these skills help each other in such a good way where he's able to just be a great overall character with doing a lot of different things. So I'm a fan of this guy. But again, I know Alyssa thinks that Krillin is hurt quite badly, so I would like to hear that view as well.
I think Krillin's damage, or at least Krillin's energy mine damage, the nerf that they gave him in 1.1 was pretty significant, especially because that was Krillin's only good damaging ability without counting his ult. Because scattering energy wave is practically not an ability. Like you won't ever use that. Like it is maybe the worst ability in the game. Like it is that bad.
It is really bad because you're not able to cancel it
honestly,
either.
I would agree.
It's such a bad ability, and it takes you away from yourself, so it leaves you open. Like, unless this could be good in certain situations where the enemy's running away, but even then, it's just like not as good as like an ability where it just takes so long. Like, it's a very niche scenarios where this is able to be used. I do like that it can track the enemies, but if you're not tracking a marked enemy, it's actually the most like god awful move of all time.
It's worthless. Yeah. It's really worthless most of the time.
Solar Flare is still a great move. Same with Energy Mine. I feel like a lot of the CC in this game is a little overtuned, honestly. Like, I feel like the blind and the like reduced field of vision abilities are way, like, they last way too long.
Yeah.
It is actually insane how long they last. It feels like you can't do anything for like a whole 5 seconds. I don't think that's the actual time, but it just feels like a very long time. And you literally can't do anything while you're blinded except like just throw abilities randomly. So I do think Krillin is still pretty good, but I don't think he's in the upper echelon of technicals, or at least in the upper echelon by himself like he was before.
Yeah.
Like I really do think it's more so like in comparison to where he was, he is kind of bad, but he's not actually bad. It's like the same thing as Zamasu, where like Zamasu isn't really a bad character at all, but it was just that he was like
he was God.
He was like oppressively good rather than just being a good
Krillin
character.
Was, like,
I mean, Krillin
so
was
far, like Krillin could have been like one of the like best characters in contention, and he's like definitely not that anymore. But he was so good back then that being worse than that doesn't really matter because he's still pretty good in his role.
Krillin was best technical in the last network test. I don't think that's the case anymore with how things have shifted around, but he's still able to achieve his job very well.
Absolutely.
I don't think I could put him in great anymore, even. Like, I just think it's because like and that blind is so good, but this
I was gonna say, he really just keeps you on your toes so much. The Solar Flare and Energy Mine are just way too oppressive at times.
I think I should probably put him in great, but I don't want my Krillin bias to show, so I don't know.
Yeah,
because I know I played him a lot, but
well, you do have to take into consideration the other technicals, so I don't think calling him great is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think like lower, like if we add another technical, like just hypothetically in great, I feel like Krillin would still be at the latter end, because I feel like there are still 2 or 3 technicals that you could argue above Krillin. But Krillin is definitely like, Krillin isn't a bad option if you're choosing technical.
Yeah, I think
it just depends on who you're pairing him with, I'd say.
Exactly. Like, you know, obviously
absolutely.
The thing about these characters is they very easily don't want characters to kind of, they want to promote teaming up with your lane buddy. They don't want necessarily someone to just be able to 1v2. They want you to think about how you're pairing up characters and, you know, how you're working together in a lot of situations, right?
That's one reason it's really hard to like pinpoint like exactly what's best in role and things like that, because it is like so situational all the time. A Krillin that's paired with a Goku is a lot different than a Krillin that's paired with like a Piccolo per se. It just, there's a lot of different synergy. Like, you need to take in consideration these character combos when like factoring how good a character is in a role. So it's really hard to like pinpoint exactly where that like character scales to like the others in the role. It's just really hard to determine. But I still think that Gray is a really good option for like a really good spot for Krillin. I feel like he's better with most casts than he is like bad with some of the casts. I feel like he's definitely like a better option.
I think
in
it's
those situations
so
than,
flexible. And again,
yeah.
I think with Krillin, just being a technical character, I think he's able to take advantage, like even as a technical, he's able to take advantage of Snowball, which is such a good card ability that usually would be used on, I think, mostly attackers. This guy, because of this energy mine still, and the destructiveness, if you land it, you're able to take advantage of that Snowball kind of card. But even then, if you go full movement speed, this guy is so fast across the map as a technical character. I've had many turns where, oh, I'm just able to go and snipe their God of Destructions. Not as good as like Frieza would do, but it's like this guy's able to still do like a role like Frieza's doing, but then everything else on top of it. That's another reason why Frieza's like, oh, you can snipe God of Destructions, but I feel like most other technicals that are fast are able to do that anyway. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, next we have a Dabura. Where is this boy right here? So Dabura's actually changed a little bit compared to the last test. So they nerfed the damage that this Doom Ray does, but they increased the petrification gauge. I think that's a buff personally.
Yeah.
Ideally, obviously losing the damage isn't great, but I think with Dabura, whenever I use this guy, I always felt like I was so close to being off with his petrification gauge being built, and he's kind of built around you building up that gauge. I feel like more often now, whenever I played a Dabura in this network test, I've been petrified. Like, I feel like in the first, 2-3 days, I've been petrified more as Dabura now than I have in the second network test, which
absolutely
tells you something, right? I think with how much easier the petrification is, this guy's able to, like, once you get that petrification gauge off, it's just like almost a guaranteed KO 9 out of 10 times. If you somehow screw up with that, I don't know, you're unfortunate. But that gauge is such a dumb ability. The amount of damage you do, and you can't move. I think the only ability that counters that is I haven't actually seen it, but Oob does have the no obstruction. I don't know if the petrification gauge is able to go past that, since it's like a different ability in its entirety. But either way, if it's not able to, like, there's no character that can really counter it once you get that petrification up, right?
Yeah, there's a reason why Dabura is like my second most used character. His petrification can be just such a game changer. Like, again, like how you say, it just stops movement. So if someone's running away and they're not paying attention to their petrification, boom, that's it. It's just a confirmed kill at that point. They can't do anything.
Too. No vanishing step, bro. Like, I think he's the only character that has this. No vanishing step to enemies. Like, it's not super easy to land, but again, when it comes to pairing characters with each other, like, if you have a character that can hold down the enemies, this just is like able to just not allow them to skip. Like, imagine Dabura with Vegeta is probably one of the more rated kind of team pair ups.
Yeah.
Because you're able to, okay, Vegeta holds him down with Photon Bomber, you give him no vanishing, and then you just kind of team up and kill him. Like, GG, right? And he gets movement speed up here. This is probably, I mean, I don't know, it's like least good move between these two. It's one of these two. I guess it's kind of whatever. It does give the petrification gauge up, so that's nice, but it's kind of just like a generic ultimate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's doing anything particularly special outside of the gauge, which, again, the gauge is really, really good, but I think this being kind of changed is a game changer for Dabura.
I personally think that Dabura is actually super good when paired with technical characters in the top lane, because most other technicals don't really have any movement abilities. Like, for example, Dabura versus Majin Buu. Majin Buu is just a sitting duck. Majin Buu is not doing nothing against Dabura. and like paired up with something like Kid Gohan, like imagine you can't vanish step, you can't use your skills and attacks because Kid Gohan just negates that, you're dead. Like there's nothing you can do in that situation. And Dabura is, I feel like, one of those characters, similar to, in my opinion, Bojack, which we'll get to, where depending on what you pair him up with, it can be really, really effective at fighting characters that are fulfilling the same roles, just because they have a lot of things that sort of negates the enemy's gameplay. Like Dabura is sort of like half technical, half attacker, in the sense that he has a lot of debuffs that can like just literally let you do nothing, because like the petrification is crazy, and well, obviously a no vanishing step. You mentioned no other character has that. With characters that don't really have any other movement abilities, like for example Kale, like what can you do against that if you don't have vanishing step? Nothing. And then you just get petrified. Once you get petrified, it's over for you.
The board's
petrification.
really
That's just dead.
Like,
it may as well just one hit kill you.
I don't think he's like best attacker, but man, he's able to look a lot better. I think in this network test, like, you know, we compare him to some of the other attackers. I just like, would y'all say good or great? I think
I would say argued for great.
I would say great.
He really is up.
Maybe not above Super Oob, but he feels like better Trunks to me, in my opinion.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
not better than Oob, but I think he still is in great.
I think I could agree with that for sure. And let me
He really is just like a predator character. It's
Okay.
just like, yeah, you go after those technicals and like he literally just like he just hunts the prey. They can't do nothing against it. Like especially like Majin Buu, like nah, that's just that's a deadly matchup.
yeah,
I think we might need a new tier, honestly. That's like between best and great,
we could
because
I mean, that's where it's like we could put
Pretty good.
That's where good
Maybe
is,
like
right?
a role that's like maybe like above great, just be like second option or something. Like
Well,
that.
that's kind of what this is. Maybe should be like great.
yeah,
So
maybe we should move everyone in great to good.
great to good.
Because like, I mean, I'm seeing the list of characters.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, the ones that we have
So-
left, I actually Zamasu I would maybe say still can be in great, but I think the others can be good and they're fine and good, I feel. Zamasu
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
is great.
And-
But then the other three, I feel like there are other characters that are definitely maybe better than them enough to be in a separate tier, but also not be best.
And
So
again,
that might be good.
As things go on, we will kind of interchange things and kind of move things around. But we do got to keep in mind
Yeah.
some of the other characters, kind of based on generally what we know about them. So yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I just looked more at the list and I was like, yeah, Dabura and Gamma's in the same tier is not my. We'll
Yeah.
get to Gamma's,
Whoa,
but yeah,
whoa,
I
whoa.
feel like that's definitely not.
We'll get to everyone. All right, so next we have Majin Buu. Randu's been brought up a decent amount here.
Mostly as a sheep.
I mean, Majin Buu has some ways that he can pair up with characters nicely. The healing ray, I think, could be super viable. The strangle gum, you know, can be decent if you're able to kind of land all three of them on there. They nerfed this move. I didn't think it had to be nerfed. It used to give no skills. Now it doesn't. I think that taking away the no skills
that's
from
the
this
biggest hit to him.
is
personally.
unfortunate.
That skill's just kind of useless right now.
Like I feel
It's
like
not really that good.
Majin Buu wasn't a character that really stood out that much to me in the previous network test, but I was like, at least this could give no skills too, which could be nice, and it pushes enemies away. It's really able to, again, help your ally hero, you know, worst case scenario, can escape, and this is able to kind of help out with that. And even Buu is able to escape himself. Like, he can move like decently-ish, you know, but man, I think Buu is in a lot worse of a spot right now. This is probably his best move, which is his ultimate, but it's his ultimate. You're not gonna see this too often. So This can
Honestly,
help.
I would
But
argue that the Strangle Gum is probably like I honestly would say that that's probably his best. The combination of movement speed down and attack down is so insanely good. Even
honestly,
on a
that's
character
fair.
like Goku, when I was playing attacker, I've noticed that like getting like all three of those on me, I've just basically been entirely shut down. And like the
Frankly,
movement speed down, I just get slaughtered. I feel like that is probably like his best attribute, but it's not good enough to justify the rest of his kit, I feel.
I think I'm probably the person that has played the most Buu out of any of us because, like, I mean, during the network test, that's all I was playing. And when we first started playing again, like when the game actually dropped, before I started playing with Goku, when I realized, oh, Goku's like even better than Kale, I was playing a lot of Majin Buu. I'd say that the best part about his Strangle Gun isn't even the move speed down or the attack down, it's the hitbox increase. Because, like, you get, for example, Superstar, something like that, the enemy's hitbox is literally like 5 times as big as it usually is in level 3. And so it makes, like, it really enables a lot of characters that have, at least at the start, moves that are pretty difficult to hit. And even, like, enables himself, because Candy Ray at low levels has, like, barely a hitbox. Like, it is really small. But if you have
Yeah.
Strangle Gum and you pair that with his ult, then it, like,
It's-
becomes
it's
much
crazy.
better.
That's fair. Maybe I would definitely, because I know I used to gas this move up. I probably was underrating it right here for sure. Candy Gum. Again, I think the movement speed down is just, like, you could really see that, especially does it apply multiple times or is it just
Yes.
a once time? It does.
just-
That's
yeah.
what I was
It is
thinking.
stacks.
That's what like getting one of them on you isn't the worst thing ever, but when
But you
he
get
just
all
spams it at
three.
you, it's
Oof.
over.
It's
over.
pretty nasty, yeah.
Yeah, like Melissa was saying that. Yeah, the increased like whatever hitboxes is probably the best attribute of that. Like, yeah, I think that's true. Actually, I agree with that.
I would say the Candy Ray, I think you land this on multiple characters, it's so easy to just get a lot of confirmed kills with this, because when they're turned into candy, they're also kind of movement speed down and they can't attack you. It's kind of just
Yeah,
like
and
a
the
free
healing.
thing. And it heals.
The healing.
I was
Like-
gonna say, yeah, the healing ray as well. It is really helpful when like Zeno is stopping you from healing. It just gives you like a backup option to get heals without having to necessarily not be able to defend the tower, you know. So I would say like it's still really nice for those niche situations as well.
I think the healing
just
should
staying
be a
in lane,
little
too.
stronger though, in my opinion. Like, it's nice,
That's
but
fair.
I think maybe just a little bit more, honestly.
I feel like
It's really
buffing the
good,
range would help with it a lot.
Yeah,
Yes,
the range
definitely. I feel like the
especially.
healing, I've noticed when I've been paired with Fat Boos, like it's good healing. I feel like it shines best like out of battle when you just get out of one and like you're able to like stick around, heal yourself, and farm up more experience. When you're in the midst of a battle with 2 other people, like actually like just a confliction, the healing is not like saving you really.
I
You
feel
can run
like
away, get some good heals, and then like wait for your cooldowns. But if you're relying on it, it's not really helping you there.
maybe what they could do is they could make it, because I feel like you if you're at near fuller HP, you can't overheal. But if somehow excess healing could become a shield to either Boo or the ally, or both even, that could be good in case, like, okay, you want to heal and to kind of get an advantage even if you're at higher HP, it instead transfers over to a shield and you could quote unquote overheal. I think that would be good. I would like that as a change potentially.
I
That
think
or having
maybe-
it where the cooldown is bigger, but the heal is a lot bigger instead would also be nice. Just having it where it has a faster heal and all that to just help out more.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes when I face a Boo, it's like they're healing, but then I kill them anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like making it a percent missing health heal could like really affect how effective this is, because like making it less effective when like say your allies above 50% HP could sort of counteract that balance of like how you'd use this move, because making it like sort of a last ditch effort to save your ally while also still keeping the abilities of like a healing in lane after a fight would be really helpful for Buu, because I feel like right now the main issue is just the range really sucks, and in lower levels this move doesn't really have that big of an effect. Like, this move right now feels really catered towards the end game, like when you can heal 3 people at the same time and you're like, I don't know, fighting Ribian or something like that, your team needs a quick heal. That's when it shines. But I feel like if they make it something like a percent missing health heal, it could also help a lot in the early game. Maybe not a significant amount, like still not being amazing, because I feel like this being the only character with a heal like this would be kind of broken. But if it was just like slightly better early game, I feel like you'd see a lot more Buus, and it'd be a little bit more viable, because right now one of Buu's abilities is pretty much only good for running away from enemies, which is obviously the skill 3. This ability is really only good because, like, hey, you can't get stunned or anything like that while you have the ability. I don't think it's listed as an effect, but that is how the move works for some reason.
Yeah, it's because, well, you can see that little, like, you know, dust, or like not dust, but like it's kind of like dust when he's running around. I think that kind of like, that's why. Or like that is what signifies it. I don't know why it doesn't like say that you can't be like, it should have like, it's basically similar to like the no obstruction, basically, I feel like. And I don't know why it's not it's not here, but yeah, that was the thing. So I mean, in terms of ranking this guy, I would probably put him in decent.
Yeah,
I think that's
probably
what
I would definitely say decent.
I would say, I mean, in terms of technicals, I would say high decent, like sort of in a similar level to Krillin, maybe slightly worse.
I was thinking Krillin was more brought down closer to Majin Buu than some of the other technicals with his nerf. I still think Krillin is, I would put a tier above Buu. I think Krillin throughout the game will be a better option, and he just stops more rather than Majin Buu as a choice for technical. The healing is nice, but I think Krillin just able to read overall more to what is going on in the match, and like the objective with the God of Destruction too, right? You know, even just farming like Supreme Kai and things like that, right? You know, you could still pre-plan ahead of time, like set 3 bombs down and instantly KO the Supreme Kai, and you get all the XP rates. It's huge for that guy. Buu is a character, I think, you know, I think his general design is good. It's kind of like, we'll talk about Kitty Gohan, but it's kind of like a Kitty Gohan situation where Buu's general design is good. He just needs more. He just, like, even just the numbers bump up would help him such a huge amount. But
actually, you know, one thing that I wish he had instead, I know that like the run is like intended to like, it's a reference like him like going around like bumping into shit, but I almost wish that he like grabbed with that. That would be fucking good.
There was a few characters
that would be crazy.
Imagine he just grabs and just launches someone away.
that would be like, that would be the like, even like not launching them, just like grabbing them, just like being able to like
imagine taking
into, like,
someone. Imagine taking an enemy hero into your God of Destruction.
Dude, yes. Oh, I got
so
something to talk
That'd
about
be
God
so
of Destruction,
toxic.
and I can't wait till cooler. Let's just say that.
Yeah, Android 18. Super impressive in the previous network test, and still really good. She's another character that did receive a nerf to the damage that she deals. I don't think it was like as big of a nerf, honestly, though. Like, like she's still really good. 18 is just a very straightforward character. Again, her attacks also feed into themselves as well, with the assault target, right? Again, the more she attacks enemies, the more that she builds up the assault target, and then guess what? The assault target will kind of just help her just do more damage, right? You know, especially with this destructive disc, really good at confirming kills. Lightning step, really good at just rushing in and starting to get a ton of damage. Excel dash is another like just overall good option, and if you kill an enemy, you're able to increase the number of activations. If you hit an enemy, you could activate it again immediately. Attack breaker, just does ton of damage, right? It's just a skill. Like, I feel like this move does require a little setup, but like you land this it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of damage 18 can do. Like so much burst damage with her. She's a very straightforward, good character. I don't think we may have to spend as much time on her because I feel like realistically, not much has changed, right?
When you have it where the skill 1 damage is increased as like the match changers or whatever you want to call them, dude, that destructo disc has just like destroyed me as Goku so many times before. Where I don't even get a second to react. I get destructo disc and I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
so
I'm out for
fast.
40 seconds. Bye, guys.
It's so fast.
It could be just so much damage.
I think the nerfs to 18 are definitely noticeable, mostly because they they completely killed the rush attack to what it was before, just
Yeah.
because it doesn't apply her stacks now. But she's still pretty good, and I mean, honestly, even though she's straightforward in how she works, I feel like currently optimizing 18, like playing her at her best, she's probably the most difficult attacker in that way. Like getting like a peak combo with 18 is much more difficult than most other attackers I've played. But to be honest, I don't think I've seen that many 18s just because it is like, I believe, a tier 1 character. Yeah, she's a tier 1 character. So I haven't seen that many 18s.
I mean, it's 18 again. We could take a look here in the
You
shop.
do unlock her at star level 31 as well, and she's
Yeah.
also one of the higher
It's just
currency characters.
look how high it is until you get her Cell or
And
hit.
plus, if you're
This
gonna
is a
get
whole
that,
other
honestly,
discussion.
I would unlock Cell because it's like not even as like a speaking of like
250
which
as
character
well.
is like best. I feel like Cell is just like cooler. That's what I'd pick. With
Again, well,
so I understand not seeing a lot of them around.
yeah, 18 is still really good though. I think I should clarify with what you're doing with her, it is roughly the same. Her damage is definitely lower because of those nerfs, of course. But the general idea of what you're doing with 18 has roughly stayed the same with how she operates. Like they didn't really change much in what you'll do with her. She's just good overall. I mean, I don't know. I like she's just a great character still, like a great character. Really not much to say. I mean, she's just so good at getting that burst damage and confirming kills. Like that's just what an attacker should be doing. I would still say she's great in role.
I would say great, yeah.
Yeah, probably like the worst of the greats, but definitely still
Yeah,
like a great.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking here. Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla is such an interesting character to me because at first, like in the last test, I was kind of like not too keen on her personally, but the more I see Caulifla, the more I kind of fight against Caulifla. I played against, there's one really good GP Caulifla player in the last network test that just super impressive. And there's also a Caulifla player I played with a decent amount of matches yesterday. And, just what I've seen with her and, I've seen online, and I did use her in the network test last time. I think Caulifla is very good. I think this is such a funny ability though, provoked, because especially early game, I think this could be a disadvantage to you. This is more so of like a late game or mid game ability. Early game, essentially, if you provoke someone, they're targeted to you. But if it's a situation where both characters are just targeted towards you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that their attacks track you per se, but they kind of do have some sort of tracking towards the character. Because what happened with me is, this actually was at my disadvantage in one match specifically, where I tried to confirm a kill with Goku with his meteor jump, but then I went the opposite way because Caulifla had actually provoked me. But it's a thing of, okay, well, that tracks me to Caulifla as well. So that could be at your disadvantage if the two characters you're fighting against are able to, since they're tracking to you, they're able to more easily confirm a kill on you as Caulifla, which could lead to a downside. But she's really, really, like, for a defensive character, she's so good at pushing and doing damage. Is actually a bit surprising. And this move right here, it's also really nice. I find this for like protecting, or like, even protecting God of Destructions or like your allies. Like this is a nice move overall. Again, lots of provoked here. I like Caulifla. I think she's able to do just really good things overall. What are you guys thinking?
Honestly, I don't know enough about Caulifla to like really like be too, because like I haven't fought any Cauliflas at all. But the times that I have, I've never been really frightened. I'm not gonna lie. And I usually play tank, so like tank on tank, I'm never scared of Caulifla myself.
I think that's
But
fair.
like you guys have played a lot of different roles than I have, so like I want to hear like other like like Alyssa's and my opinion on that, because for me personally, not scared of Caulifla.
I think Mike.
I would say it's
go on.
yeah. I don't really play Caulifla either, so I can't tell like hands on per se either. But we played with that Caulifla the other time, and man, they just felt very very impressive. Just paired with Goku as well, and again, you're just able to provoke enemies into other abilities as well. Of like, okay, well this person's gonna be provoked, and then I'm gonna immediately use my Kamehameha while they're being pulled into them. So I think that sort of pairing can definitely be very very good.
Yeah, especially again mid game. I think is really where that shines, right?
I've played quite a bit of Caulifla, but I've also been on the receiving end. And I think Mike can agree on me with this. Playing against a Caulifla when you're Goku is so annoying, because anytime you want to escape with Meteor Hammer or like do anything with that ability, it's just like Caulifla provoking you, and you can't really like actually use the ability like you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. it's so annoying.
And in that aspect, I feel like she's definitely a different tank than someone like Vegeta or Cooler, where they like disrupt you directly in a way, like with their moves with Photon Bomber in Vegeta's case or something like that, or like just Cooler being Cooler. Caulifla is definitely feels like I don't know how to describe it, but Caulifla just feels like a character that wants you to attack them, and even if Caulifla dies, that is fine, because that's kind of what they're trying to do. And I mean, with energy release, I feel like that's also a pretty good idea for defending, especially both your ally and also like, for example, if you guys are fighting one of the Supreme Kais or even a Gold Cell Junior, this ability is really great for like securing those smaller objectives. With something like Nappa though and Android 17, it's not that good because of the limited range, but it can be pretty helpful in those scenarios. My least favorite ability of hers is actually her ult, and I also wish her skill 2 could be like reactivated, but I just feel like her ult doesn't do that much damage in lower levels.
Kind of whatever. And applying provoked, like this skill applies provoked. Yeah, this skill provides for pretty much the storm kick, and I don't think it's like this is a pretty simple, like just a starter move that you can get. I feel like you don't necessarily need to have this per se. I mean, that's nice, but if this had some sort of other ability, I think would probably benefit her more.
I feel like maybe it like kind of tracking provoked enemies would be like a good replacement for that, because it applying provoke feels kind of redundant when like all of her abilities, especially Storm Kick, which has a fairly low cooldown, already applies provoked. So I don't know if I really like that it has that.
It should be this ability. Deals more damage to enemies who are afflicted with provoke. Storm Kick into Crush Cannon.
Yeah.
Like that would be what I do, especially because you can move around when you're attacking with Storm Kick. I think that like this didn't need to apply that. This should just do more damage to provoked enemies, or I could do both. Honestly, applies provoked and then it does more damage if they're provoked. So it's like, okay, I mean, it kind of like at that point it's just like extra damage, but it's still like you're still able to keep this and then just do more damage in general, right? Which is, it works for me, right? I think Caulifla overall is a good character. She has a transformation as well, which is helpful. And yeah, I think overall she's able to really just do quite well. You know what's funny? This right here is enhanced when she transforms too, and I think that's where I'm like, especially like mid late game, I think you could feel a decent difference when you're transforming with her, and get the extra like. This is a character where you might just want to transform instantly with her rather than saving it. I think it could benefit you more just from being tankier from the rip, right? But Caulifla, I would say more so good in role rather than great in role. I don't know. I
Yes.
could see her
Uh,
be great, but
I
fine
like
with
her
either
better
or.
than Samasu.
you like her better than
Frankly.
Zamasu?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that honestly too. I just playing with that Caulifla and playing against Caulifla, she could be again. She's so good at just like being an impressive character for a tank, and she kind of stands out compared to a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, I also feel like that provoked with like negating any dashes you can like use to
Yeah,
escape.
a lot of escape moves kind of get nullified by that.
I mean, the only real good attacker that doesn't have a dash is Kale, which we'll talk about that later. But a lot of these like upper level attackers do have dash attacks to escape, and negating that is, I feel like, pretty significant.
That's true. That's true. That's very fair. That's something I didn't even like put too much of stock into when I was thinking of her being potentially just a good ranked character. But when you really think about it, yeah. I mean, so many of these characters have these mobility options. Like again, we talk about Goku. We talk about the Gammas.
18.
I think 18. Even Trunks. Like there's a lot of these moves that you could use to kind of move away. And Kale's like, nah. I mean, not Kale. What am I saying? Caulifla's like, nah. Where's Caulifla? I lost her right here. She's kind of just like, nah about that, right? A good Caulifla could be very devastating, and honestly, my opinion of her in this network test has gone up as well. So that's good. I think they made some changes to her as well. Honestly, I think they did. If I'm not mistaken, they did buff her, did they not? So that also helps. It wasn't like the most craziest changes of all time, but anything helps, right? Especially
They buffed her damage
Yeah.
when she's transformed.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think every transformation character's damage got buffed, but especially helps with Caulifla's case as well. Just her fulfilling that role that she's kind of moving to do. She's the most. Would you say she might be one of the more damaging tanks, if not just the most damaging tank? I think it's
She's one of the more damaging tanks, I'd say.
yeah.
More damaging.
Well, here we are with Cooler again. I know
Yeah.
Herb is
Gulp. I wonder where this is gonna go. Huh.
I have a few things to say about Cooler.
I'll let you take over.
So, all right. So for Cooler, I think that overall, what makes him so good is that there isn't like any flaws in his entire kit. Every single move that he has is great in some way, and that's because of like the damage they do, the close range, how well they work together, and all the effects that they have. His retaliation is so incredibly good. It's like a lot of the tanks, they just like they have they're taking damage, but like his retaliation is incredible. Oh my god, his Death Chaser, personally for me, that is my favorite of his abilities, just because you hit a Death Chaser, you grab somebody, that combos into the Death Stomper, high pressure, movement speed down, they're not running away from you, Destruction Ray, that's continuous damage, and then you just start rush attacking them, you have your damage dealer with you, that's almost a guaranteed kill. If you grab somebody with that and you have someone near you, even most of the time, if you're not fighting another tank, Cooler will just kill whoever he's fighting. And when you're like really in a bad situation, a lot of characters like Goku per se, like when he has a Spirit Bomb, he just wants to run in and drop that shit. His Supernova is honestly more of a defensive thing for me than it is like, okay, let's go in and deal damage, because it has increased AoE and clears extra or does extra damage when he's activated his retaliation, and it is a very noticeable difference. Like just throwing it out like as it is, it's not the best super attack ever, but when you get that retaliation up, it's fucking crazy.
I mean,
And
it
my
has the
favorite
Super
tech
Saiyan
with
Vegeta
Cooler-
effect too, right?
Yeah. It like so when somebody's hiding inside of a God of Destruction, usually like you're chasing and like they're a little bit low, and oh god, they went inside, so they started healing and you can't get them. Cooler can go in with his Death Chaser, basically take no damage, grab somebody, and since you get pushed out while you're inside of the God of Destruction, it'll pull the enemy out with you, then you just Death Stomper so they can't run away from you, and then you Destruction Ray. If they're at like half health, they're basically just dead. Cooler
that's
is
so
so
funny.
good at just tracking people down and fucking them up. You grab someone, they're done. They are done. His like start of game damage is so goddamn good. It really helps. Like I feel like one of the best things in this game is getting that first interaction down, just like you need that experience farm, and especially when you get rule sets like the Cell Juniors, the Golden Cell Juniors, you get that first interaction down, and you're flying through the rest of the game. And like Cooler and Goku together, I don't think there's a better combination in the game. Being real, those two together do so much damage. Cooler takes so much damage, and that retaliation keeps him alive for so long. I don't think you have a better combination. For me personally, I know there's a lot of bias here, but Cooler is very comfortably the best tank, in my opinion. I mean, I've basically only been playing tank, and I think Cooler is probably the best.
I think I would agree on that. Immune to all such a stupid ability.
It's just
as the Goku that I played with, Cooler definitely feels like as a tank, Herb can just be by himself while I'm like helping Android 17 or anything like that, and they can just easily stop any attempt to get like some God of Destruction damage or anything like that, because AoE moves, well, not necessarily AoE moves, but Destruction Ray is a really big move. Even at lower levels, it is relatively big.
It goes so long.
Supernova?
My favorite Supernova is probably his like most middling skill, but it's in by like no means bad.
I'd argue Supernova as like a tank is the best thing you can do for your ally, because getting out of Supernova, especially like after level 2, level 1, it's like comparable to Photon Bomber, it's like slightly bigger, but after level 2, it is a massive ability, and you can practically get like, for example with Goku, you can just get a full Kaioken Kamehameha if Cooler lands the Atomic Supernova, and if Cooler doesn't, it clears a big area similar to what like Spirit Bomb or other big abilities like that do.
Yeah,
and it completely clears the area. So like if you're fighting a boss or anything like that, it is also really helpful. So like from a support perspective, I also feel like Cooler excels in that role of not only being a great tank damage dealer, as Herb said, but also like just helping his ally, his lane partner, in succeeding as well.
Yeah, and he also just, again, has a transformation, which if you do get yourself in a situation where, you're in a little bit of a danger, just transform and right?
Transformations on tanks are probably like the best thing a tank could get.
That's why Caulifla is also
it's so
good.
insanely good. Especially on a character like him who's not taking damage much.
Cooler is just best tank, in my opinion.
One more thing I do want to say on Cooler, actually, before I forget, is Destruction Ray. Like Alyssa was talking about, like how big that is, even at low levels. That thing does so much damage at level 1 that if a character is like maybe like a fifth of their health, if they're running away, most of the time you just kill them. You just kill them. If they're like a foot away from you, you hit that while they're running back to their God of Destruction, and they're most likely dead. He has very good coverage from like up close. He's incredibly good, but that Death Chaser, that Destruction Ray, it is so good at like a little bit of a distant combat that there's really like no aspect of combat that he's like struggling in. There's not a role that's really decimating him. There's no like close combat's not decimating him. He's good in ranged combat. Against bosses, he's really good. There's just like, there's not an area where Cooler really falters. Any situation that you find yourself in, Cooler will be excelling in it in some way.
Yeah, I mean,
I've definitely died a couple of times with continuous damage.
We gotta keep in mind, Cooler was a mega buffed from the second network test. He just has more HP. Just so much more HP this guy has. It just helps him out crazy. I don't even think he necessarily even needed the buffs like that, but he got them. And oh my goodness, the survivability this guy has with those buffs and the extra HP, it's pretty nasty. It's pretty
if Goku
nasty.
isn't on the, if Goku's not on the team, Cooler gets MVP. That's how it works.
Yeah, we have Bojack here. So Bojack, I feel like as a character, we don't have to really spend too much time on, funny enough. I think that, I mean, I'm gonna just say again, transformation is nice to have, right? For sure, we'll definitely take that. A lot of these characters will have the transformation. It just makes you invincible during it. It's nice. I haven't used I used Bojack a lot in the last test rather than this one so far in the official game release. Skill 1, I think, is a nice little kind of ability to have. This skill, I think it's kind of just like really bad. I mean, the skill is arguably like on level of like it's worse than Piccolo's. I feel like this skill is it's worse than Piccolo's scatter, and it's on the level of like mediocre that like Krillin's scatter shot is. I don't like this move. At least obviously with Krillin's, like, it kind of brings you out. This one you can kind of set up. This one's to me is really whatever. Cycle Thread I think is his best move because of the fact that again it gives movement speed down. It has a really huge range. It'll explode after the end, right? And I think it's able to hold down characters really well. To especially as an attacker, having this, being able to just do this. I mean, it allows you to set this up and then the Galactic Buster. Like, I think his moves do feed into each other decently well. Giga Grand Smasher. This is such an unfortunate move because I think it could be so good, but it's so easy to escape it. Like, you could vanish just behind Bojack, and look at this. Bojack's just open. Like, he's stuck there, and he's just open.
It's such a niche thing, and you could be so punished for using it too.
It just like,
I don't know.
I feel like more times than not, either me using it or the enemy using it, it's just you're better off not using it. I feel like just because you are so open.
That separated hurts so bad. There's been multiple times where an ult has come my way from Bojack, and I've been in between like the spaces between the beams. That I literally just I just walk out. Don't even have to vanish. Don't have to do nothing. I literally just run out of it and I take nothing from it. It's really funny.
The beam should just be a constant beam, right?
Absolutely. And if it's not going to be, it needs to do a lot more damage than it does. I found that I know I'm playing a tank and Cooler's the greatest tank, but I'm not taking nearly as much damage from that ult as I am most of the other attackers.
Like attacker ult. Because that's how it is. I'm sorry, I sneezed, so I said it right, and I was like,
no, you're good.
I don't know. Bojack's like, I would say he's not niche, but like he's one of the lower tier attackers. Like, I think he does what he does, but he doesn't. Again, he's a character where I just think he needs, honestly, just some more burst damage. I feel like he can look really good. It's really this ultimate that I think, especially as an attacker, like, again, think of, I don't know, even of course the Spirit Bomb. We'll talk about Kale later, but Kale ultimate is really good. We talk about I think Trunks' ultimate I actually quite like. 18's ultimate, like, I feel like every other ultimate of every single attacker is arguably better than Bojack's, like, for sure. Like, I don't even think it's a question.
I feel like
it's
the worst ultimate because it is slow. One, it is like extremely slow. Not only in like the beams converging, but also just the fact that Bojack can't move. Yes. So, like, for example, Goku's Spirit Bomb. We think about that. Goku can throw the Spirit Bomb, and he has like a second or like a half a second even where he can't move. Then after that, he's like free to go anywhere. Like, even before the Spirit Bomb hits. With Android 18, that ult is like, it's not instant, but it is pretty fast, and you can like dash out, things like that. The fact that Bojack has this move where he's just completely immobile, and then he also doesn't have any movement abilities at all. Like, he's just a sitting duck after he ults. Like, if you throw out that ult in the middle of a team fight, you're getting Cooler ulted, you're getting Caulifla ulted, you're getting Zamasu ulted. Yeah. Like, it's such a vulnerable move, and I feel like it does do good damage, but the fact that it is so slow makes it so that it doesn't appear that way. Like, I feel like Bojack is very situational in the sense that if you're with a character like Majin Buu, or hell, even Dabura, who can like do the petrification, if you're with CC heavy characters, then that's when Bojack shines, but there's not a lot of that currently in the game. So right now, Bojack just isn't really there.
I feel like, especially with the amount of attackers that are available that are really good, he's niche. He's a niche attacker. Like, he can look good sometimes. He has some abilities that can look nice, but I just like, I don't know.
Count on it.
Like, he's on the fence between niche and lulled. That he is. Yeah. Like, it's just that his super attack is just so worthless that just holds him back from all the other characters.
Like, if it wasn't for Piccolo, he'd be worst attacker. Right? Yeah. I mean,
like he has 2 bad moves, which is like high in this game. 2 bad moves.
Yeah.
Like 2 moves that aren't
bad.
great.
Yeah, 2 bad moves. You're not
like,
top of the line.
These two, this is the best move by far. I think the range for this needs to be extended. I think.
Yeah, and you should be able to move while throwing it out.
Exactly. This right here, like you should be able to charge this up like Kale. I think that'd be really good. This here, it's just kind of like whatever. I think there needs to be more. I think it needs to do more damage. I think there should be a way where you could lock in and group them all together. Imagine like if it hits an enemy, the rest of them track towards that enemy. Wouldn't that be pretty cool?
Maybe like a mark, like add a mark passive or something like that.
Yeah.
Where like if it or like maybe give it to
if it's
Galactic
subordinate,
Buster.
if it's like again, we know that subordinates hit after doing rush attacks, right? Or just like in general, hitting enemy with a skill, lightning and rush attack will call in subordinates. Like if they're hit with a subordinate, they're hit with like Bojack will do more damage to that character and moves will track onto that character. I think it'll make this a lot better, especially if we could charge it up. It'll make this a lot better. So it's like, oh, you could actually track towards the enemy. Like that's where, because this move, like it's not like they don't do damage, but like you said, this is so slow and it's so spread out. This is slow and spread out. This doesn't have a wide range. Like he could do good damage. It's just that there's a lot of issues with actually landing that damage and getting that kid's consistently hit. So that's what he's needs right now.
Even skill 3, which is his best move, like
it's not even like
you're in a team fight. A Spirit Bomb gets thrown out, all your subordinates die, that move ends. Like that aspect of the ability is so bad for Bojack that like if your best ability has a best AoE ability, by the way, has such a big downfall when it comes to like as team fights. When look, the 5 best characters that we have right now, all of them except for 18, and even then 18's ult still has an AoE component. All of their ults are either AoE or they have a big range. Yeah. So like Bojack is just kind of hard countered by them.
I was gonna say another thing too that just works against Bojack's favor is you look at just any of these characters that are on this list, and some of even the best characters, right? They all have some sort of debuff on every single one of their skills. Bojack has one, and it's just the movement speed down on his it's just that he has nothing else.
Effect. Look
like,
at the lack of effects. Look at the and then again we go to someone like Super Saiyan Goku, for example, right? Let's just take a look here.
Violent Rage
movement speed down, stagger, movements. Look at all these buffs here. Like, come on.
The Kaioken has more passive abilities than the entire Bojack kit. I'm crying.
It's so, this is just unfortunate for this guy, man.
Yeah, I feel like this character needs a slight rework where they just make the subordinates the main part of the kit. Like, I don't know, make each one of the subordinates give a different effect. Like, I don't know, say Beto stuns, Sangya applies like damage over time, things like that, to make the character actually like fun to use and for the kit to feel way more cohesive and complete.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Kid Gohan. Okay, this is really funny because if you look at my last list, Kid Gohan I had at the bottom. They buffed, like, I actually have to show a screenshot of Kid Gohan, like how much he's actually buffed, because oh my goodness, the amount of changes this guy received is actually insane. Like, this is the character that benefits the most from the changes that they made. I literally have to just bring up the screenshot. Base HP increased, the attack buff increased, exploding rage damage, the rush attack again was increased, the Masenko skill level was increased in terms of the radius that's there, energy defense down increased, extra time, all of this was pretty much increased, except for the strike attack effect up on the super attack. He just got mega buffed. And then especially, again, we'll talk about Kale later. I think the existence of Kale helps this guy out in terms of too, because Kale wants to be near an ally. This guy wants to be near an ally as well. So that helps out quite a bit. But all the buffs that this guy got, the thing about Gohan, I think in the last network test for me, I had him ranked like pretty low. That's because I think he just needed more. His general kit was good. It's just that I think that he needed just like more of a push to him, where I didn't think the buffs he provided made up, especially with how good Krillin was. Even with Majin Buu, at least he's healing. He has the candy ray. I felt Gohan's ability to essentially, what's the word? Like, give the buffs to your allies. I don't think it was strong enough in a lot of team ups to compensate for the loss you had for other characters, you know, or just having another character there in general. Gohan, now it does. The amount of increase I feel like that gave, and the amount of survivability this guy has now, I think, comparative to what it was before, it feels like such a big difference. And then again, he does provide quite a bit of debuff. Strike defense down here, no skills attacks on this attack, the skill 2 right here. When it's not fully charged, you can move around with it. Energy defense up, energy defense down. I mean, guess what? There's a lot of energy defense down. You know what this is good for? Goku's Kamehameha. Guess what? It just does mega extra damage, especially with the attack buff here. This right here does give buffs. What's it called, to ally heroes with the strike attack up on top of that. Like this paired with Goku's what's it called? Meteor Smash as well. Like, or Kale, you know, Kale's ultimate. Like, Gohan just doing just like a lot of nice things. This is probably like, it's like even then it was like being able to push enemies back. We'll definitely take that. Gohan is just so much better. I'm like actually like floored with the difference between, in my opinion, for him and the previous network test and how he is now. It's crazy.
It's night and day.
He definitely feels a lot more fun, for sure.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much else anyone else has to say.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Pretty much.
You kind of said all the stuff I would have wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, they just massively just buffed everything that he was doing, and that's why he's just so much better now. So, I mean, would you guys argue against me for putting him as best technical now?
No, not at all.
It's so
I'm
funny.
not gonna say hit is best.
It's so okay. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We'll get that. We'll get to that fucker. I feel like Gohan's only competition. We'll get to 17, but I feel like 17 is probably going to be like the biggest like competitor to Gohan for attack. But I think Gohan takes it personally.
I feel like the most interesting part about Gohan is that he feels like the best support out of any of the other technical characters, because to me, Android 17, for example, and Krillin feel more like debuffers rather than actual supports, while Gohan's just like, it's giving you attack up, it's giving you defense up, it's giving you all of these things, while also having like some slight debuffs in the enemy. That's mostly related to, hey, you're debuffing the enemy, but your ally does more damage.
Yeah.
So I feel like Krillin really, sorry, Gohan really have a good base, or like it was just like his numbers were way too low. And I mean, they buffed that so much.
It's actually crazy. It's funny though, because like the numbers, they gave us the numbers, but we don't know how we can't see the actual numbers in game, so we don't know how much of an effect it was. It made a big effect, that's for sure. So
but a good benefit of skill 3, which is like he has the enemy, it can go over walls, which like I don't think there's any other ability in the game that can like just go over walls like that.
Well, there is.
I think that's exclusive to him.
With Trunks.
Oh, with Trunks. Okay, I still haven't played Trunks at all, but yeah, I mean, a technical character having that,
also Cell.
especially a technical character, Cell.
Yeah, we'll talk about Cell. He has one where you can go through. I believe so. If I'm not misremembering.
I think all warp moves in this game have one, but still,
yeah,
a technical character having it that also like buffs the ally is pretty good for like maybe poking the enemy or using one of your effects and then just going out. Especially in like big team fights, you can like use your skill 2 and maybe prevent a spirit bomb and then you just get out. And so that's just a pretty good move that on paper maybe doesn't look that great, but it has a lot of utility for both you and your ally.
Yep, I agree. I mean, Kid Gohan's just generally good character now. W Kid Gohan for sure. Here's Trunks, actually. Okay, well, Super Saiyan Trunks. Now, this character, I feel like, is a little underrated as well. I think he has some sauce to him. I've used Trunks a decent amount. Now, Trunks early game, I think is like just overall decent, but once you really start getting Trunks rolling like mid game, late game, this guy could look insane. Especially because, again, with his overcharge, if you KO an enemy, you could activate the skill during the cooldown once, which is really crazy. I feel like his range for an attacker is greater than usual because he's a weapon user. Same with Daima Goku, right? The range for this guy, because he's a weapon user as an attacker, I think it's just it is useful that it is larger than this. This is really good at confirming kills, especially because, again, damage is increased to enemies who HP is below a certain percentage. This is what I was talking about, the warp here. You could warp past walls and things like that to kind of catch an enemy as well. This guy is so good at confirming kills and using a super attack immediately after, which is his Shining Slash, will reduce this activation time. Burning attack does actually cause a little bit of a blinding effect. Well, it's pretty much just a blinding effect, right? This is not necessarily noted in here, which I don't know why it's not. It should be. It's some like create smoke and impact, right? It's pretty much blinding effect. This has been devastating to me in certain matches, fighting against the Trunks. Again, before he's able to really like do so much of this burst damage when all these skills are leveled up, it's like kind of like he's still decent. But again, mid-game Trunks and the end-game Trunks especially is where he really shines. Then this right here has a pretty wide range. You're able to move this around, movement speed up to self and movement speed down to enemies hit by the sword attack. I think Trunks is just an overall good character that a lot of people aren't really looking into. I think that generally, though, he is properly rated. Even with that, I just think that he's kind of a character people don't really talk about too much for how good he can be. Also, transformation is nice, but I don't know if I'm missing anything with Trunks specifically.
For me, what I've noticed when fighting Trunks, I think one of his best like combos is Baby, because what I've noticed with Trunks is that he's very easy to kill. He's able to bully squishies, absolutely, but he is so squishy himself that it almost doesn't feel like a threat. I feel like if you're doing Trunks, you almost don't ever want to like go bottom lane and face a tank, because you want to be bullying those supporters. And it's not to say that Trunks can't handle a tank, it's just it's a lot better that you don't. And if you're going to handle a tank, it's probably best to have Baby there, because you give him all of that defense, but Trunks has all of that attack and even the boosted one, like a boosted attack, then he can fucking rip to shreds. He can be very good in that kind of instance, but overall, I feel like he's definitely not too scary, but he's definitely one of the most fiercest attack. He's very fierce in certain situations.
Trunks feels like an assassin archetype in MOBAs, where he has a lot of burst damage, but as soon as his cooldowns are down, he like just gets completely demolished.
Which is bully him.
Good that he has his passive, but like for that you usually need KOs or assists. So Trunks, I feel like would excel more if this game had some sort of like counter pick mechanic, because if you're against a full team, or well, mostly a team of squishies, Trunks is like the guy. Like Trunks is gonna bully everyone in that match. Even like some of the characters that have a little bit of higher HPs, like Goku, Trunks can bully because he can very easily get an early lead because of how high his damage output can be. So Trunks really isn't niche, but because I feel like he has way more situations where he excels than like Piccolo or Bojack or something like that. But I feel like there is a difference between his peak and his average that is very significant.
Yes,
No, his
especially with
moves are
confirming the
definitely
kills.
higher than like Oob and Dabura, but like his Valley is, I would say, a lot lower than both of them.
Yeah,
That to the point that I wouldn't put them on the same tier.
I
He could
agree.
be amazing and like way better than them, but overall he's just not.
I think
He's not fulfilling his role as well as they do. In the long
late
run.
game is where this
most
guy.
situations.
The late game is where this guy excels, but I feel like early and mid game is more important to me personally in terms of how I would rank characters. Late game is obviously still like, you know, it's really nice that this guy's great late game. And again, no one on this list is necessarily like a character I would say is bad, especially decent and up. Like they could all, like a Trunks, a really good Trunks could look good, better than like a decent Super Saiyan Goku player if you know what you're doing, right? It's more so
like
just
the
like
only
what these characters
character
are doing.
It's like the only character here that I would like say I ever look at, and I'm just like probably not the right choice is like Bojack. I feel like he's the only character on the roster who could be considered for LOL tier.
I mean,
To be honest. That's just me.
yeah, I could see that. Bojack's a bit funny guy, but Trunks is overall good. I like him. I think just generally,
Pretty good.
he's fun to use for sure. I just think that maybe a little more, especially for earlier game, could be where I would improve this guy personally. But that's me. So
Yeah.
we have.
I think
Mhm.
before we move on, I just want to say, if Project Multi matches were like 30 minutes long, Trunks would be the best character in the game.
Yeah.
In my
I think
opinion.
so, yeah.
Like Trunks, like the problem with Trunks isn't that he's like bad at the
He
end
just
of the
doesn't
game.
have the time to really
Yeah.
get going.
You know what's funny?
He wants to ramp up so badly, but there's not enough time in the match for him to like reach that.
If
like,
the
consistency.
Dragon Shell actually had like the health of a God of Destruction,
Yeah.
that would change things quite a bit for Trunks.
I do wish the Dragon Shell was a bit beefier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would change things quite a bit for Trunks. Like, because the match would be prolonged longer. And funny enough, like, we have that Zeno animation, but, like, there's not, like, you don't really see that 9 out of 10 times, or, like, honestly, like, 9.9 out of 10 times, right? But, yeah, that's with Trunks. Vegeta is, I mean, he's, I think, also just a straightforward character. None of his actual moves are bad. None of them stick out to me as, like, terrible. Good, very good tanking wise, right? Having the shortened cooldown is pretty cool. We'll definitely take that. And then this is probably his worst move, but at least it does restore armor. I like this explosion wave. It does push enemies away, gives him armor here. This is still arguably the best move in the game, I think. It's
So I think
crazy. It's
Vegeta is like the character you pick when you get Superstar. As a tank, if you see like Superstar, I say like you pick Vegeta because that photon bomber, you're paired with like a Goku in bottom lane that has Kamehameha maxed out, you own that lane. That's basically like a guaranteed own lane. That photon bomber, like Superstar is so insanely good.
Vegeta
His other
Superstar
moves could be better, but photon bomber is fucking crap.
Dude, Vegeta Superstar, and then you see, because this is where all the Cell Juniors are, you put it in the middle here, you instantly farm all the Cell Junior mobs.
That's all of yours. That's all yours.
Yup. And
it's insane.
Vegeta is just so good at just, like, being able to do this. Even like in lower like ranked matches, by the time you get to the middle, you're potentially able to get 2 photon bombers, if not like one.
I would always, if I'm playing Vegeta, I'm getting that to level 2 before I get the second skill, in all honesty.
Exactly.
The other 2 at level 1 aren't worth it. Like, they're not better than a level 2 photon bomber would be.
100%. You got to get this up immediately. This is the first one you focus on. I would say the thing that Vegeta could be better in is his ultimate. Like, the restoring the armor is nice, the range is decent, but I don't know, maybe something a little, some extra other effects could be cool. I feel like this is just like a ineffective ultimate. It's fine. It doesn't really do a lot of damage though.
Very middle of the road.
It's kind of just like the armor is really what you're doing. This uses more of a defensive tool than an offensive tool to confirm kills. And I think as ultimates, this would be better if it did a bit more damage, in my opinion. The armor is nice though. Like the thing with Vegeta, he has so much survivability. Again, this restores armor. This restores armor. This restores armor. You could use this too as a defensive tool. You push enemies away from you, then you run away. Many times I run away, then guess what? The thing about Vegeta is that he does where is it specifically? Like when he runs away, or like after a certain point in time, he starts restoring his own shield. I forget. I don't even think it's noted here, but he does actually start restoring his own shield. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
I just think that's how shield mechanic works.
Really, just in general, that makes sense.
Cooler
Then,
does
yeah,
the same thing.
Cooler. Yeah, I think
I feel like it's better on Vegeta though, just because
cool.
like it's like along with his like shield regain on his abilities, like it's a lot more prominent than you would see in other
For
characters.
sure. And again, transformation, it's just nice to have. Vegeta is a character that I think people know how good he is. So, I mean, I'm going to put him in great, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely very great. He works so well with other characters.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely. Zamasu, I think, has a better overall in skills, but Vegeta's Photon Bomber is so incredibly good that I could see the argument of him being a better choice than Zamasu. In
I mean,
a lot of
I would say,
situations.
keep in mind, it's not necessarily like ranked in order. I'm just kind of pairing like the attackers
Yeah.
together. In fact, I should move Caulifla here. Like, just attack, tank,
that's good.
technical is kind of what I'm doing here. It's not like necessarily ordered in any specific way. Like, I'm not saying, oh, Vegeta's always better than XEMS. Actually, HH would be up here if I'm putting all the tanks together. Look how good the tanks are, by the way, chat.
Yeah.
There's
I was just
many.
about to say that.
really
Like, dude, every
bad.
tank is filling up that great role and best role, bruh.
It's so funny.
It's just like you can't go wrong with most tank picks.
Yeah.
Vegeta.
that good.
There's not one that I would say is like
Yeah.
just the wrong choice.
Vegeta's
With
another
damage,
great
you
example
can,
of
you
that.
can play Bojack, you could play Frieza, but like a tank, you
Gulp.
always
Me when I have to
something
go up
that's,
against a
like,
Bojack who's about to die immediately.
All right, so luckily we're here with some of the newer characters again. A lot of these guys were adjusted, so it was important to talk about them. But here, oh dude, it's been 2 hours. Goodness, we can get into some of the new characters now. I guess we have Daima Goku. Daima Goku is free, basically. Like you just get him instantly. I like this guy's entrance animation at the home; is really cool. Now I've used Daima
He's probably
Goku.
the best animations in the game.
Yeah, I use Daima Goku quite a bit. I think he has like some really nice things to him. Good range with the power pole. But enough the increased range does happen during the attacking, so you could see a really hit very far out again. Usually these weapon characters would have higher range. It seems like that's what's going to be. Daima Goku is really good at pairing everything together. Again, the wasabi bomb, there's so much texture, but essentially you could actually hit the wasabi bomb with the rush attack, if I'm not mistaken, or the power pole dance. Kind of hitting it towards your enemy, and it's pretty funny. Like you see Daima Goku just kind of pushes it towards the enemy, right? It does DOT damage overall, and then if you have Glorial Lightning Bolt up right here, which does attack multiple enemies, it does do more damage. Then right here with the power pole, it just gives him extra buffs here. You can move around. Just like, it is a very, I feel like with this move, it's not like the most of damage, it's just super annoying. This is a really annoying move, and you could use it while you're getting hit, as we see right here. It does actually kind of half the damage received from the first hit, so if you're taking a Kamehameha, this is like, nope, you can just kind of move through it. Can be canceled by a rush attack, which is cool too. But yeah, no, Daima Goku just overall just like really good. I think his ult is the one thing where I'm like, okay, he's immune to wall, which is really cool. I just feel like the ult's kind of, the range is pretty small, and I think the range needs to be a lot larger, honestly. Like, that's where it's like the damage and the ult is good. It just feel like it's so hard to land it and get all the damage you want. Kind of like a Bojack situation there, but yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on this guy.
I don't like him.
You don't like him?
I don't.
I don't like him either. I say this as a Goku main, but like, I find the issue personally is just that he doesn't really have like any escape options. Like, sure, you're gonna be staying a lot farther back because of the rush attack, just being so wide with the power pole extension. But like, dude, as a Goku man, I see Son Goku as the mini Goku as like just food.
I mean,
It's like you can't escape.
It
You're
is
sorry,
funny.
little buddy.
like I said, this is more annoying. This doesn't have the range. Like, these two pair well together. I like kind of like Goku's like a character you kind of have to think more so about, and I think a lot of the attackers that are really good, you kind of don't have to think as much and like preset things as much. Again, Diamond, like many other characters, Daima Goku, if you know how to play him, he could look very good. I just think that he's not necessarily super straightforward, and I think these two rely on each other a little bit too much. Like they feed into each other, but I think they can't really stand on their own, like compared to some of these other attacks. Like I think Daima Goku is another example of like him being just like a decent character that I think just needs his numbers bumped or the range bumped with this, and then he could be really good. This, I don't know, like what I change about this. I think this is probably his better move, honestly, just because like it does kind of help you with like kind of being able to counter the enemy. I just feel like, I don't know, Daima Goku is a little more annoying than anything. The burst damage here could be good, but like I think I'm more favorable towards him than you guys are. I would put him a decent though.
Yeah, like to me he's worse than Trunks because he just doesn't have the peaks that Trunks does, and I think his ult isn't really good at all.
Yeah,
like honestly, I'd rather have Special Beam Cannon than Swift Spark as an ult.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like the range is really bad. Like the preview we see there, that's like full level ult.
that's what I'm saying. This is
a
max
really
ult.
small ult.
It's it's like we see ults, like the camera's zoomed in so far in, and it doesn't even cover this entire area. Like again, I mean, you have that ult, and then you have, like I said, the Spirit Bomb ult. Again, we gotta bring this up as an example because it's the like standard for like the best character. Again, let's take a look at 18's ult as an example. Like at least 18's ult doesn't have 18's ult doesn't. 18's ult has more range. And it does more damage. It's like, at least, even if it has like similar range, it's all one burst damage. Goku's ultimate is just not like that. Photon Bomber has more range as well. I mean, Oob's ult, like, you know, Trunks' ult, like, I don't know. This Daima Goku's ult is where, especially, I think as an attacker, your ultimate has to be good. But this is not like the range. Yeah. Like, the damage it does is nice. The immune to all is really nice. But you need more, like you need to actually hit your enemies still, right?
I feel like the issue is the immune to all doesn't last the entire duration of the ult. It's only until the dash forward where it like stops after that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you can take a lot of damage when you're just like pretty much standing still. Like you can get hit by a full force Kaioken Kamehameha there, and you're dead.
Look at how close they have to put the 3 enemies to showcase like that. Oh, look, it can hit multiple people.
It's just like, this is not going to be happening in many situations.
That's not realistic at all.
Like it kind of reminds me of in Smash Brothers Ultimate. It kind of reminds me of Sonic's Final Smash, where it is just like a really bad move. Like there's some situations where we're a little bit good, but most of the time you're not really hitting anyone with it. And it's more like, I mean, the ability is there, it does stuff, but it doesn't really feel that good to use, and you don't really see the effects of it just because it doesn't really have that big a range.
Yep. Buff Daima Goku for real. Cell perfect form. He is first from Cell for a bit. Cell, I actually did use him not too much, but I did use him a decent amount. I think he's just generally good. Being able to gain bioenergy, just increase your stats is really cool. I think the thing with Cell is you want to transform as soon as possible. My thing with him is, because of that, you only gain the bioenergy from doing rush attacks. Like you don't gain bioenergy from any of these skills, and that leads you to like I don't like the idea of feeling like you're not punished, but it's like you're wasting the potential to transform into perfect Cell by not building up your bioenergy by doing your rush attacks. Like I think this pre-transformation, this should give him bioenergy, at least a little bit in the skills, so that you don't feel like, oh, you know, if I'm attacking like and I kill the enemy, I can't build up my bioenergy. And transforming into Cell, I think you definitely do feel that difference. That's where I'm like, I wish that Cell does get that. but that's like kind of like my little nitpick with this guy. He's super tanky. I think this rapid smash move is very similar to Cooler's sometimes, but especially this stagger when you grab him from behind and it's a warp, it's really good. This is a really, really good movement here. This needs to be adjusted as well. I hate this skill 3 personally. I mean, movement speed down is cool. I just feel like you're just kind of standing there and you don't gain much benefit. I mean, you see Goku still attacking after. Like, look at the HP you actually gain from this. I don't think this.
Yeah, it's not worth. It's really not worth.
Yeah, this is cool.
I think they need to change most of Cell's kit before transforming. Like, I feel like, for example, replace Raid Smash with like an absorb move before he transforms, so that he can build up that bioenergy. Because like before you're transformed, it kind of sucks that most of your moves aren't really helping you, and in fact they are like taking away from the fact that you can't build up your bioenergy. Like, for example, when you're fighting normal enemies, you should probably be rush attacking them so you're building up as much as possible, because like, sure, Cell in some matches can transform like level 5, which 2 levels before any other enemy, but there's also times where you can transform even later than other enemies. Or like, I feel like with Cell, if you transform level 7, which is the normal transformation for every other character, I feel like you're a little behind. Like that's crazy to think about, because the character, I feel like after transforming is pretty good. Even before transformation, Cell does feel strong. Well, I mean, tank roll is pretty overpowered, but Cell just doesn't feel that good to use when most of your abilities are taking away from like everything else.
I would also say the duel, it doesn't really last that long, honestly. And what is it like again right here? I feel like
I've never been trapped in that.
I've trapped
like,
someone in here.
I've gotten out of it every time.
But I've
been
never
trapped
had
too many times in this.
I feel like
that being said, I don't think I've had it a single time where I've been trapped in Cell games and I've died. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
It's so funny. It's so funny too, because Cell applies defense to himself, right? So he's also just another character who just doesn't die. It's good for making it where like you're locking out a character from being able to fight, but it's just like, what are we doing here? Like we're both waiting for it to just.
It's kind of just stalemating.
No one does anything.
I don't know. I think this should get bioenergy. I think that would give it an extra buff. And then post transformation, I hate that you can't move during this pretty much. Oh no, you can't move. Sorry, I'm stupid. But like, I feel like the benefit you get is not that good. It should heal more.
Yeah, give it damage reduction in my opinion.
Yeah, damage reduction would be huge for
damage
this.
reduction, or like the damage you take. Let's say you heal like 250% of the damage you take while you have the move active, like something like that.
Yeah.
That is promoting
Dude, you pop
using
that
it during
like
battle.
an ult that's being dropped on you.
And
That'd be
imagine being
fucking
able
crazy.
to just like live that ultimate and then you just heal back. Or like, honestly, even like make you get because I think he doesn't have this. What if he had immune to self when using this and it just heals a fixed percentage of your health?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then it's like, okay, maybe even if you can still move around it, it's not that long of an ability, but him having that ability could make him really interesting. It's like, oh, he's the only, well, Cooler can kind of do it, but he'll be like the character, like the tank character that could reliably live ultimates and things like that, kind of get around that. I think that could be really cool, because like this move as well, I think that it's kind of like whatever, maybe the range could be higher. I think it is pretty quick though, and you could use it to pretty comfortably like kill enemies as well, who are like trying to run away, especially because the movement speed down is like, if they're not killed, they have movement speed down, you could use raid smash and just like kind of finish them off. Like Cell has a lot of really good stuff to his kit, but it's really, these not building up fire energy does suck, and then this third skill is kind of like whatever. It holds him back a bit. I would still say he's good though. Like he's very tanky still, and he has a lot of really good.
I would definitely say he's.
It just being a tank character, it's just like the role itself, like the amount of HP they have and stuff like that. It just benefits and perfect form Cell himself, cooking still.
Yeah, it just feels like a very detached kid. Like all of his abilities feel like their own thing, sort of.
It's so funny because if this guy was an attacker, he'd be niche.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is, right? Tank, just like the tank role, having all that extra HP in general, and how like he just still fulfills his purpose. It's so funny. Android 17 here. Where is this boy? 17. I like him quite a bit.
I like him too. He's really, really nice. Just having so much like defensive abilities and things that can just make it where you're not only you can live, but your allies can live is just crazy.
Yeah, skill 3 is kind of just busted. Also giving movement speed up, but give him extra HP. And the thing about 17 is that he could use his abilities. Like he can expand them like for free. Like he has this bar under there. Like he could just double activate this. Double activating this too actually does some pretty decent burst damage. I found if you need to do that, it could chase enemies down. Has a pretty wide range. I feel like this is like his worst move. I mean, it's decent. It does stagger if you reactivate it, but I think these two are still really good for his moves. And then this ability, and this ability is really dumb, but this right here cancels transformations. Kale, this guy counters Kale. I'm not sure if it's because of this or because of the ultimate, but Kale, 17 has canceled my Kale transformation. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, before, like multiple times. And he could also cancel just transforming in general, which transformations are so huge because it's a way to become invincible and continue the match, continue the fighting, heal and recover. 17 being able to just take that away from you, especially again as Kale, when I feel like Kale's biggest thing is that ultimate transformation she has. It's such a huge ability that has to be considered. Kind of like, you know, we talked about this with Caulifla's Provoke. It's kind of like even better, honestly, on that level, in terms of how like it affects the top best characters. Like, and let's take a look at the best characters. Who's transforming? Transformation. Like 4 of the characters at the top here transformation, and we still have Kale to talk about as well. Chocolate Kale is going to be really good too. So, yeah.
Out of those top characters, 17 also counters Zamasu because it just applies no healing.
Yep, no healing.
Yeah.
Which also counters Majin Buu's all, which like I'd say Majin Buu's all turns characters into candy, but the main use of it is just the healing. That also just completely counters that. So like negating the main abilities or like the main draws of 2 characters, 3 characters because of Kale is like really huge thing.
This too is, does that count as healing? It just gives him extra HP.
No,
I think it counts as
extra.
shield.
Yeah, I think it counts the same as like armor because I think while no healing is applied, like Vegeta, for example, can still build up armor.
Actually,
I think it's different.
Is it this that like helps against Kale's transformation, or is it, does this cancel Kale's transformation? I thought it did, but maybe I'm misremembering it. It's actually
I'm pretty sure it does.
I'm pretty sure it does. If like she's using her ultimate and then you hit him with the rush. If you hit her with the rush attack, it cancels it. And then you waste your ult. I believe is how it works. Because 17 has like as someone who used Kale a lot in this network test, or I keep saying it's the official release. That's kind of crazy. 17 counters that, but yeah.
I just checked. It says transform in Kale's ability description.
Yeah. So
yeah, it does cancel it.
Very silly. I mean, 17 is doing a lot. I feel like I really like this move. Like, she has a lot of extra just HP regen that's not specifically healing. It just gives extra shield. It just flat gives extra shield. It's not like a healing over time like Majin Buu. For example, this could do pretty decent damage. That could help confirm kills, I feel like. I do like this. And and movement speed down here is cool. Like, and none of these moves are, again, like something that I would say is bad. Even this has its utility. I mean, 17 is overall a really good technical character. I think the only reason why he's not best is because Gohan's just better. Like, Gohan just...
I feel like it is like just barely not a 1A, 1B situation.
Yeah.
Like, Gohan just gets the edge because of just how much he's doing for both his allies and debuffing the enemy.
Yeah.
But like 17 is right there,
Definitely. Like, I'd
in my
say,
opinion.
if you think 17 is best technical, completely valid. Completely valid thought process. I think we all kind of agree Gohan would be kind of giving the edge there, but it's really just Gohan. It's like, that's the only reason why
It's funny because 17 is like the shielder in a sense, and then Gohan is more like the damaging support. And it's just like they both do their respective jobs the best. It's just that damage is valued a little bit better in this game, you know?
I could see that, especially because there's 2 attackers.
Yeah.
So next we have Hit. Oh boy, we can talk about Hit now. So
Can we put him at the best? Like, put a tier right above best and roll and just put Hit.
look, I think this skill 3 could be pretty busted if you know what you're doing. I think a good Hit player that knows what they're doing, it could be very nasty. I could see it because you use skill 3 into skill 2, and then it staggers them, and you could just like really be really good at confirming kills. But I feel like it's situational. I think the thing about Hit is that people, like, even fighting Hit, like a good Hit, it's kind of a little weird to kind of maneuver and work around him because you can't see him when he's doing his skill 3, which is, again,
I
really
want to interject really quickly. I've been solo queuing while we've been talking about this, and I literally just finished a game with a Hit that got MVP with 3 got a destruction kills, and it was on the Cloud whatever, like, beginning trait. I feel like Cloud beginning trait is where like Hit absolutely shines, and it's so hard to keep track of him and pin him down. On that specifically, I think you really have to fear him because like, this match he took away.
Yeah,
I think Hit should go in LoL, not because he's like the worst character in the game, but because he's sort of like a troll character in the sense that like his entire thing is like going invisible and trying to like I feel like he's even better than Frieza when it comes to like taking God of Destructions, because like you could be doing Android 16 and you just literally will not see Hit going for your God of Destruction.
Yeah,
and like
because he can be
lasts so long. Like he can literally walk right by you and you just can't tell, and he just takes it.
I think this is cool too. It's funny because it's like the effects of stealth will continue or while in a bush when you use this. The funny thing though is that like this gives you away your location anyway, so like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Hit's such a funny character because the thing is like he's not a damage dealing character. He's a technical character. I think you can make Hit look good, and you know I think people get confused when people may post screenshots and like Hit is not necessarily doing the most damage, because Hit is better at confirming kills and moving around the map and like getting a lot of destruction kills. I think that's kind of what Hit's role is as a technical character. He has the movement speed to kind of hide around and kind of like sneak around and stuff like that, like similar-ish to Frieza, and I think he does Frieza better that role. He's just such a troll character. LOL role is funny. I don't think I could put him in an LOL role though. Like I get the sentiment.
I think
Yeah,
I think
like
it'd be really funny to put LOL, but then like put like parentheses after it, like doesn't mean bad.
LOL.
No, actually, I think it should be rechanged to niche and bushes.
No, make it bush king.
just bushes, just bushes. That's why it's green.
If you get those modifiers for it, then yes, he can definitely look good, especially in those scenarios. But like other than that, if you're just getting something like superstar or like skill damage output for 1, gulp.
I know it's due. I know it's due. I'm gonna make a row below, and then I'm gonna say it's. And then what is it?
No bushes.
Cloud perk. And then oh man, I wish I could put a second image of Hit. Hold on, wait. Let me. Actually, I could do that. Wait.
Of destruction. He was literally just going invisible hitting the gut
Let
of
me
destruction
see.
and just doing that the entire game.
Exactly. 140k. Look at
It's
that. That
crazy.
hit carried. Like again, hit right here. He's not doing. His role is not really to do that damage there. His role
No,
is
he
to
is
kind of sneak
super
around.
good at like he's super good at like objective,
Disrupting.
but, like,
And objective and disrupting too.
and like actually pursuing
Like,
objective.
here's-
He's super good.
Here's what
He's
we're
different.
doing. If you catch hit, which I think is fairly easy to catch hit, honestly. Even with the skill 3, like hit no prep time. It's kind of like booty cheeks. Like I feel like why would you choose to use hit over Krillin, 7-0 Gohan? Hit feels like he should realistic. I mean, my opinion, hit should have been attacker role still, even though I get he's technical, and he should have just given himself movement speed buffs up. I think the reason why they made hit technical is because one, he does do some decent debuffs, and the blind. I think I don't think any attacker really has blind kind of status like that, or it's no, even Goku doesn't. Goku have the shrink field view for characters. Like I think he should have been an attacker and just given himself movement speed up, honestly. And then that way he could do like more damage and kind of I think fulfill his like the damage kind of aspect of him better. But also, I think a good hit player that has especially like clouds like around like if you mean hit locked in the cloud chamber, he's like I think he's like a middle tier here where I wouldn't say he's like I would say he could even potentially be on Krillin's level. A good hit player, dude, could cook. I fought a good hit player the other day. I got washed, bro. Hit
Yeah.
Insane.
like I was betting against
That
Daima
is
Goku.
the-
Hit.
hit is the skill curve in my opinion.
Yeah, hit's a huge skill cover. If you know what you're doing with hit, man, he could look so good. And this kind of just to be funny, honestly. Realistically, I think hit is better than Frieza. Just overall, of course. I think that hit is arguably better than Majin Buu as well. That's why I did hit in the locked in the cloud chamber. In fact, I'm just putting this because it's funny. I would say hit is like if I was gonna put hit between good or decent, I would still probably put him in decent, but I think that this is just funny to me, so I'm just doing this here. Hit with the cloud perk especially though is crazy. I think once people kind of more get a better understanding of like how to fight hit and stuff like that, his general relevance will kind of stagnate a little bit.
It'll probably.
His ultimate could be pretty decent. I'm also someone, maybe I'm underestimating hit because I'm not really someone who would be good necessarily as playing hit. Like I tried hit. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think he could be so good at getting the objective though. I think it really is situational, but I think when you look at it, Krillin is also really good at getting the objective. And he's also doing just like I think a bunch of other things throughout the match. Hit's more of a situational kind of character, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like any character, if you get advantage, like and you start snowballing, these could look really good for him. But that's again, that could be applied to literally any character on this list, even Frieza, even Piccolo, right? You have like a 2-3 level advantage. Like, come on, you know. What do we have next? Actually, I didn't check here. The
I
stupid green
think
color.
it wasn't Kale. It was
The gammas. Okay.
the Gammas.
So we have the gammas here. Where I'm blind. There it is. I've used them a bit. I haven't used them too much. I'll let Alyssa talk about them.
I've only played them a little bit, but I've played with a lot of Gamma players. I feel like their skills are really good. I just personally I don't like their like changing ability that much. I feel like their health bar mechanic is really good. I mean, there are a couple characters in a lot of different MOBAs I've played. I've actually played way more MOBAs than League. I have a lot of MOBA experience. I played like Heroes of the Storm. I played Dota. I played a bunch of MOBAs whose name I don't even remember because they
Shonen
were
Jump.
like, yeah, the Shonen Jump MOBA I've played. I've also played like very bad mobile game MOBAs. So I had a lot of experience, and any character that has more than one health bar is just bound to be annoying, even if like they have 50% of the health that another character has. They're gonna be annoying because that mechanic of swapping characters will always give them some form of like invisibility frames where you just can't hit them, and like that split second can mean the world in a MOBA. For example, like maybe you try to tower dive someone, doesn't go well, but like Seno's about to come up. In that like split second, Seno can like appear, enemy can't heal, things like that. So it is really like good for you that the Gamma Switch sort of gives them that invisibility. But I just personally don't like how sort of weird it feels to swap between the characters. And also, I don't like Gamma 1's ray gun at all. I feel like it should have either way more damage or more range. I mean, yeah, I think that's about it. I like all the Gamma skills personally. I don't think any of them are bad. I don't like Gamma Impact that much, but I don't think it's horrible. Like, I don't think it's a completely useless move. The Gammas are just not doing a lot that isn't damage. Like, they have a good escape, and that's probably their most unique thing, but everything else is just like, the Gammas do a lot of damage. And they have a secondary health bar.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
The Gammas are a character you need to really, I think, use to, really see their true potential, kind of like really feel the extra health bar. Like, there's many situations, especially I think early game is where that second health bar is so huge. Because I feel like early game, their health, even like at, like even having to have like shortened health, it's not too much lower than the other characters early game. Like, I think once you get that advantage with them, they're super good at helping you get that. Even if one of your Gammas get killed, getting the advantage early on is nice. I think, especially because, like, how do I explain it? It's not that big of a deal before like the Xenos really start kind of running around and things like that. You're still kind of focusing on farming mobs before you're really focusing on getting that God of Destructions in many situations, right? Funny enough, this is the first character we're recalling I think actually gives you a benefit because of the fact that you can't heal the other Gamma if they're dead at the God of Destruction. You have the ultimate, of course, but like in certain situations I could see you tactically like actually recalling, especially, you know, maybe if it's early game and you can't actually travel far enough in time. I think I can see like recalling kind of helping out, especially if you're like kind of on the other side of the map, again, like the enemy territory, and you're able to do so. Like, let's say with you're kind of attacking someone and then you have both Gamma 1 and 2, and then you lose Gamma 2, but you are able to kind of finish the two enemies off and you get a little bit of the objective completed. Okay, I'm gonna recall back, get Gamma 1 back, and save my ultimate for when I might actually need it during a battle, rather than, you know, having to waste the ultimate or anything like that, right? So I think that's like interesting. I just overall think that there's not really a move that I look here, I'm like, oh yeah, this one's bad. Like, they all have their really good uses in many different scenarios. I'm a fan of them. And, you know, this right here also does stun the enemy and stagger them, which is really cool. I've seen the Core Breaker used a lot in endgame to a pretty good advantage as well. So that's nice.
Dude, special pose stagger is crazy because it is like immediate. So there's been times where my Kaioken Kamehameha has legit been cancelled by the stagger. And like the Kamehameha has a big cooldown. Like, it's like 10-second cooldown. So Gamma 1 like activates that, and I don't have any abilities and I'm just dead there. That's happened quite a bit.
I think the Gamma Switch could be just so powerful early game too, because you could get caught and then it's like, oh, well, guess what? I have a second me, you know? Yeah. So it's like, sure, you do have to go back to base in order to get your other Gamma back, but I would easily take that over just getting a kill and then having it where the other team just starts snowballing in a sense, you know? Like, that second Gamma is just it's so vital.
I think they're great.
For sure.
I would put them as
and also,
for sure.
They have 3 dashes.
Yeah, they have 3 dashes with the skill one. Too. It's kind of silly.
4 if you count Vanishing Step.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These guys are good. I mean, I'm putting them in Grand Roll. I think it's pretty clear. They're not the best, but, like, Goku's the best. It's still, like, they're close enough where if you think they're best in Raw, I could see the argument for it, right? And I think the final character here that we could talk about is Kale. I mean, I'll just put her on the list. I think we could all agree she's great as well. Yeah. Kale, at first, I thought was best character, like, for attacker. the more I use like Goku and the more I see Goku, though, it's like, yeah. And the thing about Kale, this ultimate is so unbelievably busted. Mid game Kale, especially, it's just Berserk Kale is just dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb. And she gets extra HP.
Berserk Kale in a vacuum is definitely the greatest thing in this game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like power, yeah, absolutely.
Not even in a vacuum. Berserk Kale is just the best thing in the game.
I mean, you could get you could literally team wipe with Kale. Like I've had multiple games where I've killed 2 to 3 enemies at a time, mid-late game with Kale, when everyone's all built up in their HP and they're all attacking me. Like it's so stupid. Look at the damage she does.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's so funny that just the graphic alone shows you doing 3 attacks and boom, half the HP is gone.
This is level 15,
like,
of course, but still, it's absolutely crazy. And while 17 can counter her, I think that's something to be considered. That maybe is a reason why maybe I wouldn't even have her above Goku. I think the biggest kind of thing is that she's a little bit reliant on ult, but Blaster Shot still does really nasty damage for what it is, and it tracks, so that's fun. The second one right here is kind of whatever. Well, actually, no, this is the one you could charge, right? I think, which one is it? Yeah. This one's the one that's kind of whatever. It's a bit slow. It's like decent. I think, it's really good for trying to kill, like, if we're trying to kill like 16 Jack or Brienne. This you could charge up and it has a pretty wide range, though it could do some pretty decent damage too. But what I was talking about earlier, Kid Gohan benefits her. Like her and Kid Gohan are really good pairing together because her actual skills damage is boosted up and her rush attack is boosted up, I believe, when she's again near kind of other characters. So that just allows her to do so much early damage game, especially again, you get skill 1 damage up or super super start. Like Kale just dominates from the beginning. She's just a very oppressive, really good character where even like this has its use. It's not crazy, but like most of what she's doing is just really great and really excelling. Once you get that ult out, I mean, you might as well just spam it, honestly. Like sometimes even like when we're like level 5, 6, I just use this to get an advantage, like starting at mid game, and it is huge. Like, it's situational, of course, where you want to use it, but I mean, oh, here's Kale. This is important. You do want to not like waste this though, because it has a pretty decently high cooldown of 120 seconds, right? It does like have a pretty high cooldown, but it's so powerful. I think the trade-off is more than worth it. Damn, her back is huge. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Enough to carry your whole team.
Yeah, pretty much. So here is, I think, just the tier list completed. I mean, is there any other change you guys would make here? I think maybe I should do this still. I think this looks good to me.
Because there's
Literally
2
the only
attackers,
thing-
I would say to make an own separate tier for Kale and just put second attacker.
I mean, we could theoretically do something like this, but
I mean, to go off of that,
I mean, you could say
so
we could do this because there's 2 attacker spots.
Oh
That's
yeah.
you could say that, and for me, I'm gonna like, I've played I think over like 90 matches now, and I gotta say that like Cooler, you could argue that maybe Zamasu and Vegeta can be better sometimes. You can argue that 17 is better than Gohan sometimes. I think Goku is there's no argument where I'd say that he is not the best attacker. Kale is incredible, but Goku is right now just the best character in general. I don't think that you can make enough arguments to comfortably say that Kale is like as good as Goku. I understand like there's 2 like attacking roles, so it's okay to have her there because obviously you're gonna have 2 of them. But Goku absolutely is the best attacker and just the best character in this game.
I mean,
It
this
so effortless
is just the
with him.
best team in the game right here. Cooler plus Goku,
That
Kale
right
plus
there,
Gohan.
This is optimal gameplay.
This is just like the best team right now.
Yeah, that is just
This is-
legitimately the strat.
That's the best game, yeah.
And
Yeah, who's ready to queue up after this video with just this
Dude,
team?
me? I'll play right fucking now. I have it loaded up. I have it on the goddamn TV.
Okay, Goku plus Cooler, Kale plus Gohan, like GG.
yeah, that's just the best.
I think it's
team.
just
Yeah,
best team right
Goku plus
And-
Cooler I think is just the best combination, and Kale Gohan is probably the second best.
So dumb. And again, you can interchange things
dumb.
like as you feel free. Like if you want to move Gammas and Goku, sure, or Vegeta and Cooler. Like Vegeta and Goku still work really well together. I think especially Caulifla and Goku work really well together still. Like there's substitutions you can make depending on like who fits your playstyle better.
At this point, it's entirely like nitpicks between your personal experience and biases. At this, like I think what we have right here is a very good foundation. Anybody can look at this and change things like a little bit, but overall, I think this is probably the best general view that we're gonna get on the game right now.
Yeah, and personally,
For sure, I
like
definitely agree.
in the Great Role, I feel like the only character that couldn't go, or like in my opinion, shouldn't be in Best in Role is probably 18. But even then, I feel like she still fits the criteria of Great in Role. Like she definitely feels a step above Super Oob and Dabura. But I mean, given that what we know about the game, they're definitely like patching it constantly, and we should be getting patch notes for the next patch. I'd say probably in 2 weeks or so. I mean, usually MOBAs do every 2 weeks.
We could see season 0 ends in 10 days. This is I think the reason why I did it season 0 is kind of to get a general gauge of how people are feeling with the game and kind of fix any potential bugs and issues that are rising, which there are some.
A lot of bugs and issues.
So we'll see. Again, tier list I think will be pretty common, at least for this game here. And if there's any adjustments, I'll try to get like at least like the same general kind of group of us here. Maybe we'll get 1 or 2 people in sometimes. Close this now, but yeah, I think I feel very good about this list, but let me know what you guys are thinking. I think the only one maybe iffy about is like kind of exactly placing it. This is just kind of funny to me, but appreciate y'all for watching.
I'm gonna fall to my knees when Goku's is nerfed in 10 days.
We'll see what happens, man. But appreciate y'all for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and we'll catch you guys next time.